love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stare, stepping up, don't back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah. Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. Planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
What is going on, Hive? I hope that everybody's excited for an epic call-in stream. Happy Friday. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm your host, Birdie. I go live weeknights at 7 p.m. Central, and then on Fridays, we do a call-in stream where you have a chance to call in and say whatever you want as far as the case goes. Just make sure you're being respectful. You can, disagree with me, agree with me, bring up a theory, numerology, bring up a card game called Psycho Killer. Really, the only rules are just don't troll, spam, or threaten. Same thing in the chat. The mods will give you enough leash to hang yourself. Being formerly known as Beck, Discord Dog, Luda Bliss, and the UFO Dog. And I'm going to get this disclaimer out of the way right away. The following material includes archived public posts, forum content, news articles shared for informational and analytical purposes only. These materials are presented as historical records and do not reflect my views or my guest views or assertions of fact. No claims are being made regarding guilt, innocence, or intent. Viewers are encouraged to verify all information independently and understand that online content may be inaccurate, incomplete, or misleading. This channel, being Birdie_Hive Mind, abides by YouTube's community guidelines. Content is not intended to harass, defame, or incite violence against any individual or group. This chat does not promote hate speech. This channel does not promote hate speech, harassment, or harmful misinformation. Now, as you all are filing in, please go ahead, hit like, hit subscribe, do all of the things. Couple quick announcements, and then I'll say what's up to everybody. Drop the link in the chat. If you would like to join Hive Plus and get access to the emojis, it looks like they are back in full force, which is great. I think Apple or YouTube was having a little bit of a glitch with those, but the mods will be dropping that link for the loyalty badges for the emojis. And then Hive, tomorrow we have the Hive Plus War Room, which is every Saturday. It's much less presentation, way more collaboration. And it's actually our first ever Hive Plus roundtable. We've done roundtables, but we've never done them on Saturdays. It's going to be at 10 a.m. We got Shawley Redacted, D-Dog, Wifey, Bellamicia, pretty much, and Sleuther Snare. So that will be at 10 a.m. Central. To the 4 on the screen, the mods should have sent you the instructions. I typed that out earlier. Let us know if you have any questions. 10 a.m. Central, we will be doing the Hive Plus Roundtable. Very, very excited for that. What's going on? Crop Duster, Jesse Ray, Liz Gaspari, UK Corin, Motherfunker is not having the emojis working for them. That sucks. I was going to try to come up with some wordplay on your last name where you should just drop the real MF about the emojis. That sucks. It's so frustrating that that's glitching out for you all. Miss Kim, Shawley Redacted, Sharon Mac, Purple Queen, Love and Other Habits, formerly known as Beck, UFO Dog, Indy Lizzie, Fiji 98, getting my high knees right, Christ. Oh my gosh, the sense of humor is you have to laugh through. You have to laugh through the pain. That is quite the combination. Ocean's 1111, I am Canadian 902. Tripsy Turvy, Christopher Bond says the Bond. What's up, Rebecca M94? There's D-Dog Wifey. 4 a.m. I think I could have been dreaming. Wickedly Redacted, Blue Eye Candy. Hey, Jessica, Birdie. Talk Birdie to us. Happy Friday, Hive. Let's effing do this. What's up, Nosy Cat? Jess T. Okie dokie Lisa. Germilla. Misty Dewdrop. Julie Clemens. Beverly Fike. Scout. Dark Nightingale. Carol B. Book Girl Brown Reviews. Stop the BS. Luna Bliss. Don't drink chunky milk. Said he said the stem. What is going on, Hive? That's funny. Does anybody use that for their own vocal stim at this point? I feel like one person said that in the chat. I'm curious. That's hilarious. Blue Eyed Candy, goated for gifted out the Hive Plus memberships. Just gave out 5 of them. Congratulations to everybody who did get those. And welcome to not just the new members, but everybody that's new tuning in. I had a poll up in the chat to start the discussion. Call it an icebreaker, call it whatever you want. I always find the results of these super intriguing. And I said, what evidence is the state most afraid of becoming public knowledge? The answers you could have chose from were untested DNA, Brian talking and explaining his side, unredacted audio on 1112, or the full 3 a.m. hour on the Linda Lane dumpster cam. The untested DNA was voted number 1. Brian talking was number 2. The unredacted audio was number 3. And the full 3 a.m. hour Linda Lane dumpster cam was in last place. So with the untested DNA, I'm curious, okay? I put that in there because do we think that they would care? Right? I feel like if they were to say, oh yeah, we finally tested it and this is the person's name, but they have an alibi. That's really as simple as it could be. Or it was from a prior event. I mean, they have tested stuff that they've shown is not a match to Brian Koberger. Brian Koberger has been excluded. And it really hasn't made a massive, massive impact. Do you know what I'm saying? People could say, well, what about the hair or the debris? I hate to just say like how easily they could maybe shift the goalpost on that. It's just, I feel like we have to remember who we're dealing with here. They could say, well, it wasn't in his hand. Okay. There was hair on the ground. It could have been, it was hair from a long time ago that was under the bed. You know, it's not newly ripped. Who knows what they could say? You know what I'm saying? If I had to have voted, or if I could vote for whatever reason, I could post the poll, but it won't let me vote in my own poll. It's kind of whack. But I would have said Brian talking and explaining his side. That's what I would have voted for. Oh, Lou Stone, that's right. Or extensions. Bellamicia pretty much said the untested DNA would be inadmissible by now because it's corrupted by the police. It is now fruit from the poisonous tree. Don't drink chunky milk said wouldn't care. Everyone could legitimately be in the house. Right. If they didn't manipulate it, it'd be dangerous information. True. Okay, Hive, let me go ahead and get this link posted. As a reminder, all you have to do to join is the following. So I'm going to post and pin this link in the YouTube chat, okay? So this link, it will take you to what I call backstage, okay? You're not going to be on camera. We're only going to be able to hear your voice. So even if your camera is shared when you open up your phone, the only person that's going to be able to see you is me, just on a tiny little like thumbnail. And other than that, nobody's going to see you. There's no time limit on the calls, but I will encourage you all, be precise, be concise, make your point. I'm hoping to have, you know, my socks blown off by some of these theories. I'm ready for a theory to just completely come out of the woodwork that rallies everyone together. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for a through and through thought out theory that has our jaws on the floor, that has a combination of documents, of footage, and of a little bit of quote unquote tinfoil that makes so much dang sense. Nobody can ignore it. We're due for one of those. I feel like it's been a while. I know that we had that Psycho Killer card game. I just thought that that was rather more just interesting how much that stuff lines up. Like personally, I don't think that they were playing a card game. Do I think that there's a dynamic of that card game that I guess not just in this case, but and not just of card games, but of movies, of television shows, of, you know, the pop culture stuff that's already preconditioned in our minds. I absolutely think that, and I think that it's smart that somebody would have thought to, well, why don't we just use this storyline? Nobody's going to be able to poke a hole in it. Somebody already kind of thought through the talking points for us. And also people will believe it. Think of all the documentaries out there about these serial killers. Think about all these, you know, movies like Jason Bourne. Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. You know? Okay. And now I did have a message that from one of my mods that said that formerly known as Beck wanted to go first or was requesting to go first. So is Beck backstage or no? And I only asked that just because I don't think Beck has called in quite some time. And I was curious. So Beck, let me know. Let me know. If I see you pop up, Beck, I'll bring you up next. All right, now, since it's not Beck popping up first, as I've said many times, it would not be a Hive Friday night call-in if we did not have Miss Surely Redacted. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Birdie. Yourself?
You're very quiet.
Okay, 1 second. Is that better?
No.
Oh. 1 sec. Yeah, my watch is off. How about now?
That's it's a little bit better. I can hear you, but I don't think the chat will be able to.
How about now?
Hive ones if you can. And thank you again for everybody with the patience. The first call is the one we got to work these kinks out. People are saying, um, is there any way to hold it a little bit closer, or are you?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me now? How am
Yeah,
I doing?
you might just have
Yeah.
to talk louder. That's it. We'll
Okay,
be okay.
that's fine. How's Mrs. Birdie as well?
Mrs. Birdie is hanging in there. We actually had an appointment today. We heard our little girl's heartbeat, which is awesome.
Oh, that's always the best. Always the
It
best.
is. It was so like it's always been like I don't even know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy to think that there's a human inside of my wife. You know what I mean? Like there's a heartbeat in your stomach right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I completely understand. And having it inside your own body is the weirdest but one most wonderful thing, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
thank you for asking, but it's going great. She's doing great. We're hanging in there.
no, you're very, very welcome. First of all, I wasn't sure if something I did would have upset you, so I thought I would check with you and just make sure
What
before.
would you have done?
Well, I'm more than happy to take it down if it is a problem, but I've been reading the book already inside on my channel, my second channel, and I embedded a link at the end so that if people wanted to learn more about Idaho 4, they could come to your channel. And it only occurred to me today that that might be something you wouldn't be happy about. So
No, you can
I thought I'd
absolutely do
check.
that.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to get more traffic to the Hive. So I thought I'd do that.
Which let me actually pause and stop you there. The timing of this is crazy, Charlie, because I was actually texting Discord Dawn. If you're not in our Discord, please join it. I have some plans to really, really start using that Discord in the chat room again. I've been saying that, but I really need to. That Discord is incredible, especially if you're trying to find the latest document drops, you know, archived videos or posts or articles, whatever it may be. That's the spot to be. And speaking of what you just said too, so like on TikTok, I don't you can't download my videos, but on Discord, we had the idea of like little clips if people do want to take them and share them outside of TikTok or YouTube, because I don't have any other channels on
Yeah,
other
fab.
platforms. I'll put the raw files in the Discord for people to go and post on their own page if they'd like. So we're going to
Yeah.
start doing that.
Yeah, that'd be really good. I think the more traffic we can get, the more truth we can get to this, the better. Um, I've had a bit of a busy day again with looking at everything as usual. Your video last night really started me off again. The 11:16 p.m. I went on a bit of a deep dive again on that video. Do you know about the time anomalies?
Specific to what? I mean, I'm aware of, like, are you talking about on the archive or?
So yeah, I mean specifically, like 11:17:07, for example, there's a lot of noise, but it's paused. Like the numbers don't tick up for 21 seconds, and then all of a sudden it jumps. And initially it jumps from 11:16:47 to 11:17:07. And there's a point which I found very, very bizarre earlier, which is where it pauses again later in the video. And then there's like the censorship bar over the bottom of the screen for like 15 seconds. And then there's a really strange noise. And my husband and I scrubbed up the audio, and that very strange noise that happens at that exact moment that you've got on the screen, there's a voice.
What do you hear?
We couldn't really make head nor tails of what was being said, but it was definitely a female voice, and it sounded like she was calling someone's name. Apparently it's a man's voice. And what did you say, sweetheart? Yeah, so it's totally hidden by the wind in the original footage. But if you isolate the audio and remove the background noise, it's clearly a voice. And it just seems, it might be nothing, but it seems like very strange timing that's when that sensor bar goes up on the bottom.
You know, what's interesting about that is, so I'll give a little bit of a sneak peek too to something that I'm working on, because I'm diving into this too. Like last night when I got done with the stream and I was waiting for the live to process so that I could download it for the quick cut, I was watching this and I didn't have the audio like scrubbed up or anything, but I just had like my noise canceling headphones on. There sounds to be, I think there's a lot of times that we hear voices of people on speakerphone.
Yeah.
And I specifically hear the sirens.
Yep.
And then I hear a younger girl's voice
Yep.
say, I'm good. And then you hear the response on the phone of what sounds to be like an older woman, like a middle-aged, like a mom, say, what happened? And then you kind of hear this whiny, not whiny, but this kind of like scared, I don't know.
I put it on my little sheet in front of me as heightened voice.
Yes, heightened.
Yeah. I've got a whole timeline from, the start of the 11:16 video all the way to the end, and the fact that there's silence from 11:31:04 until the end of the video is very bizarre as well. We're trying to see if there was any audio there that was just muted or what's going on. We're really working hard on that at the moment. Sorry, my husband wants my attention. What's up?
It sounds like a female singer, like you said.
Yeah.
But when you remove some of the shit, it's actually a car radio.
Okay, so there's a couple of points on there where we can hear singing. And my husband scrubbed it, and he said once you scrub it, it's actually a car radio. You can actually hear that it's a car radio.
Oh wow.
So I thought that was quite interesting. He's been working with some fun software recently to try and scrub the audio up as best as we can.
Well, yeah, and please, I know tomorrow you're on the roundtable. If you want to screen record any clips that you got of that scrubbed up audio or send me the file, I can pull that up tomorrow. I mean, that's what it's for. But I'm glad you're diving into that. I'm telling you, this clip is important.
I think so. I mean, it doesn't seem like it is, but I really do think it is. And like you said about the flash of light on the 1:16 a.m. Obviously, as we've said before with numerology, it's weird that it's 1:16 and then 11:16, but there we are. But the 1:16 a.m. with the flash of light going across the bush is very bizarre, and I think I've worked out where it could be coming from.
Nice.
There's a house in that direction that's sort of a bit higher up, and it has a balcony.
Okay.
I don't know who lived there yet. I'm trying to work through that one myself. But the angle of it seems as though it might have been coming from a high beam torch from that balcony. So maybe it was a signal. I don't know.
Well, those are great. Like, I'm glad you picked up on it, and I'm excited for you to be on the roundtable tomorrow. Like I said, if you got anything, email me. But I'm going to put you backstage. I hope you and your husband have an awesome rest of your night. And do you have anything for us before we go?
Yeah, I think we have one more thing to say. Dylan's a wanker.
Oh, you guys have a good one. Thanks so much, Shelly. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Classic. I don't know why it's so funny to me where I'm like, and is there anything else, Shelly? All right, next up, we're going to get cooking through these. Let me just make sure Beck's not backstage. All righty. Oh, wow, we got a full house already, Hive. Jeez. If you're trying to get in the backstage, you're not able to. It's because it is completely full. All right, let's get rolling here. We got Jesse Ray. Jesse, how are you doing?
Hello, Bertie.
What are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. And what do
I'm
you got
really
for us?
excited for your baby to come.
Oh, thank you so much. That's
I'm
kind
so
of you.
happy for you guys.
Yeah, we're so excited. Today was surreal. Today was very surreal. If you want to see Birdie in his feels, you should have been in that appointment room. So, but thank you.
And I want Louie, your cat.
The Russian blue. We call him
he's
the
so cute.
oligarch. Yeah, he's the oligarch. It's a big old Russian blue.
So I'm gonna tell you guys my theory. Well, half of the theory. I'm still working on it. So I think around 12, Ethan arrived at the house. I think Ethan was the first one home. And then Dylan and Bethany came home around like 1:30. And then Xana came home around like 1:35. And then that's when Xana found Ethan gone, sadly. And then around 1:56, Kaylee and Maddie get home. And then that's when everything starts. They're fighting, they're arguing, they're yelling, they're screaming. That's just my theory. I think that Xana and Ethan were killed first, and then Maddie and Kaylee were killed second.
Because they walked in on whatever was
Yes,
happening.
they walked in, and then they saw them, and then the perpetrator saw them, and oh shit, we gotta kill them too. And I did finish the Amber Vance interview, the live that you did with Amber Vance, and
What'd you think of it?
it was amazing. I love Amber Vance. I
Yeah,
really
she's great.
do. She's amazing. I just love her.
She's great. I was actually texted with her right after the live, and I was like, we got to do that again because that was awesome.
Yes.
So
And that game, that's very interesting. The Psycho Killer.
it caught people off guard. I can tell you that much. It was pretty. I don't even know what to make of it other just than like, how does it line up?
Right. That's very confusing. It's very eye-opening, in my opinion.
Yes, it is. Well, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your theory with us. I hope you have an awesome weekend.
You too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All righty. Next up, we got could have been 4 a.m. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me? Hello?
We got you loud and clear. Oh,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I'm just driving to work, so I just wanted to make sure the volume was okay. So
Oh, you're great. Yep.
Yeah. So ever since you talked about that new book where they talk about the third person that was in the house, i.e., Lakeland, didn't Dylan say that she went to bed before Lakeland left and she doesn't know when Lakeland left? So like my thought is like, why at 4 a.m. when she's calling everybody, why didn't she call Lakeland or text Lakeland? Because if you didn't know she left and you told her she could sleep in the guest room, wouldn't you think that potentially she was still asleep in that guest room?
100%.
And from Lana's interview, she said they only interviewed Lakeland for like 7 minutes. But like my question to her would have been like, did you leave the door unlocked? What door did you go out of? I just don't know if any of those questions were ever asked, or like why, if they didn't know she left, like why wouldn't they have called her to see if she was still in the house?
I totally agree with you. And I think one of the points about the entire Lakeland situation is, I don't know about you, but until we read that book, I totally never pieced that together. Like, I'm okay with admitting that. I've been like, I knew she was over there, but I guess I never understood it in that progression. It's like, okay, so you're in the house, you're taking video, and you just so happen to leave right before.
Yeah, and like you didn't run into like Kaylee, or it's like Dylan said she went to bed, which is also very odd. Like, why would you bring a drunk friend back and then just not like just straight up take them home, or like have them sleep in your bed with you? Like, I'm like around their same age, and like whenever I have friends over, it's like we're having a sleepover. It's just all very weird. And Lakeland said that bed was uncomfortable, so has she slept in that room before? Or did she go down to the bed, see the bed was uncomfortable, and that's when she decided to leave? I just don't know if these questions have ever even been asked. My mom and I were talking about it.
Do you know what that? Okay, I feel like you would be really good if, like, let's say that I'm interrogating Lakeland, and you're watching behind like the two-way mirror. I would be like, all right, Lakeland, I'll be right back, and I'd go back. And I feel like if I was talking to you, you would have just given me that feedback. Like, I feel like you would be really good at that. Those are all really great questions.
Yeah, because there's no forced entry. It's like, okay, so was the door unlocked? Like, what door did she go out of? Did she leave it? Like, what Dylan said that, what was it? That Xana and Ethan would leave the door unlocked. Like, if Lakeland left, maybe it was Lakeland that left the door unlocked. And I don't know. I haven't seen her interview. I have to go find that. But
that's a great point. What did you think about? What did you think about the book's point on it's a soft exit linguistically, meaning, oh, that's okay, that bed's uncomfortable, and it's kind of just not wanting to say the real reason. Like, if you were so intoxicated that kind of as Dylan stated, like she's going to take you home. You're going to go back. You're going to leave the party.
That she thought Xana was just sleeping on the floor.
Right.
Like, you think Lakeland would be okay with just sleeping on a bed.
So, I mean, seriously. So think about that. Did Lakeland see Xana?
I think, like, my kind of theory is like, you know how, like, people, or, like, I think it was Chris Wickham was saying that, like, the person who did the crime doesn't want to be the one to, like, they want someone else to find it. So, like, what if they wanted Lakeland to be the first person? She didn't. So then I think someone else had said this too. Then Kaylee and Maddie, and they're like, no, Dylan, what the fuck did you do? And then they had to hurt them because they weren't going along with it because Lakeland was just too drunk. Maybe she didn't notice, or yeah, who knows? Because maybe the door was shut and they expected her to go in the room or see blood or something, and she just didn't. So then they had to have the door open where you could actually see Xana and Ethan.
True.
Could be a thing. I don't know. Dylan is just so sus to me. It really makes me mad.
The sussest. And it's like, I've said this actually. I was talking to, I don't remember who I was even talking to, but at some point or another, like within the last couple of weeks, I said, I would feel terrible if Dylan or if anybody was a victim of the cops not allowing them to clear their name. Do you know what I'm saying? I would feel bad. But they're just
like, we can't even fully blame like Dylan and Bethany at this point because the cops didn't even like have follow-up questions for the nonsense that they were saying. So It's like they're just kind of running with it. It's like we can't be fully mad at them because they were just lying and never questioned, lying to the grand jury. Like high knees, like what does that even
the high knees thing is wild. And
how anyone can like just like, because at first when I heard about this case, like I said, I'm around their age. I'm like, I can maybe understand because I sleep till 11, like, but I also lived in a college house and maybe I'm more an empathic person, but if I were to hear one of my roommates like sobbing, I would go check on them. Or there was no text to Xana or Ethan, be like, hey, is that you crying? Like, are you okay? None of that. Which you would think if you heard someone crying, you would text like, hey, are you okay? And nothing's there. She's just like a horrible friend. Horrible person, in my opinion.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree, just from a standpoint of I think you used the word like being an empath, just wanting to make sure someone's okay. I totally agree. And I hope you have an awesome night at work. I think you said you were on your way to work, right?
Yeah, I'm a flight attendant, so I'm flying to Guatemala.
You're flying to Guatemala. Holy hell. Well, safe travels. And thank you so much for the call.
Yes, of course.
Cheers. Bye. I'm on my way to Guatemala. That's crazy. That's cool. It'd be a fun job. All right, next up. Wait, I had a message backstage. Let me just make sure this person. I don't see their name. Oh, there we go. Okay. Next up, we got G's. It's Lexi. Lexi, how are you doing?
Can you hear me?
I got you now.
Okay, cool. So it's an old document. I mean, I don't have no theory specifically. I just noticed something that is a bit suspicious. So in a
Lexi?
there.
Oh, you lost you for a second. So the last word I heard was suspicious. You're good.
Okay. So in the combined supplement document that they put out, I'm not sure exactly what date, but it was dated on the top 7/8/25. Underneath the list of all like the subpoena officers and stuff, there is an incident labeled threatening, and it stated that it was related to the murders. When I looked up the, like incident call for the call log of the police department, it was a vandal alert and everything about a subject who displayed a knife to a group of individuals at U of I campus. And it says they identified that individual in the vandal alert, which I did include the links and all that.
Oh, you sent me the
Which
email.
is,
That's right.
yeah,
Right?
and it's in
Okay.
and it's in the video discussion Discord channel because that way everybody could see it.
Okay. I'm pulling it
Oh,
up.
okay. Also, a couple lines underneath, like 2 lines underneath where it states Brian Koberger as the offender, it states there's a witness with the initials JN.
Hang on. So I need to slow down on that. That's crazy. I've never heard that. And just so that now we can have the visual as far as this is the first thing that you said, right? So,
Yep. So on the second page,
okay. Oh, right here.
Yep, the first highlighted one. I did provide you a link also in that email to the vandal alert because
Okay.
the vandal alert was dated 9/15/22, even though the incident on the supplemental report is 7/12/23.
The vandal alert. Did you? Oh, is this the civic message right here? Oh, first of all, you get the GOAT award for this. Guys, I got an entire PDF with links in the inbox for this call. So thank you so much, Lexi. So this is the vandal alert that went out with that supplement that I just showed that
Yeah.
said threatening. And I'm going to read this quickly. September 15th, 2022. It said approximately 1:15 p.m. today, the City of Moscow Police Department identified the subject who allegedly displayed a knife to a group of individuals on the University of Idaho campus near the Student Recreation Center and the steam plant on September 12th, 2022. The individual is cooperating with the investigation, and there's no risk to the public at this time. This is still an active investigation. Will be forwarded to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office for possible charges. We want to thank everybody who's been involved in this investigation and for the community's cooperation. James Fry. Wow. That is, there's always no risk to the public, it seems.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so now I'll pull up the other link. I see the Yik Yak on campus article in the Argonaut next.
Yeah. Yep. So that is just a couple people stating they use Yik Yak for telling others about undercover cars, undercover cops, and stuff around the area, which I thought was interesting. Definitely not, anything specifically tying it. I just thought for somebody to publicly come out and state, that people say what undercover cop cars look like in Pullman and Moscow is like.
Look at this line. I love keeping up with all the Greek life drama. Isn't that coincidental?
And it's like
Wow.
2 underneath that it states the undercover cop cars in Pullman and Moscow.
Oh, wow. That's actually really interesting. So it says people always say what the undercover cop cars look like in Pullman and Moscow, Johnson said. Catherine Johnson is a student and a user of Yik Yak, I'm assuming, was also asked about what her favorite thing about Yik Yak is, as well as if she saw any issues. And her favorite thing is that people talk about what the undercover cop cars look like.
Mm-hmm.
What a weird first thing to say, dude. Not like, oh, wow.
Right.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So I just want to bring that to your attention. And then I didn't highlight it in the supplemental report PDF, but right 2 lines below Brian Koberger's name, it states there's a witness and it has their initials. And that's the only witness on all paperwork. So
on this document?
Yep. 2 lines underneath Brian's name.
Did I already pass it? Is it at the top?
Yep, that second page in between all the yellow.
Right here. All right, I'll get it full screen.
Yep, so Brian's right above the black redacted, and then 2 lines below that. And it's the only one listed. So I was just curious if anybody knew anybody with those initials, JN, because it's last and then first name. Because I think that's wild.
It's JN. Who could that be?
I haven't been able to figure it out. So I just wanted to give that to you guys and heavier minds thinking about that, because it just happened all within like 5 minutes. I stumbled upon all of it and I was like, huh, interesting.
I feel like I've seen The Witness, but that was maybe when it first came out and when it was redacted. I feel like, at least for me, when it's that heavily redacted, I'm like, I don't know anybody off the top of my head with those initials.
Yeah.
UFO Dog said it's Officer Junk Nuts. the fake
That's
Detective
awesome.
Mowry, that's his nickname. Was there anything else on that sheet? That document's freaking awesome that you sent me.
Yeah, no, not really that I wanted to like throw out there. That was just kind of like the whole knife guy, possible charges, and it says it was related. Like it's listed as a related incident. I don't know why it'd be related unless that guy had something to do with something.
Yeah, that is, speaking of things that just are kind of odd with like the call log. One of the things that I remembered today, I was watching older videos just on YouTube for whatever reason. Like my algorithm, whenever I try to find something older on the stream, my algorithm like updates and it starts pulling stuff up from 2-3 years ago. And I saw this video from JLR, and it started talking about how the neighbors, like the next day, were already calling the police and complaining about caution tape parking them in, and media. And while I understand, right, but doesn't it seem a little bit extreme to like call the police instead of just, if it's a reporter, just be like, hey, can you move your van? I got to get out. Like you're going home for break, or like, I don't know. And also it's just a freaking quadruple murder.
Yeah. And you knew them.
And you knew them. So wouldn't you be like, you know what? It's as annoying that I'm going to have to probably get ready a little bit earlier because I know it's going to be a zoo out there. But I don't know. Well, you get the GOAT award, and that is awesome. I always appreciate whenever people send in the emails and the links before. So you crushed that. Thank you so much, Lexi.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for squeezing me in because I'm on a time crunch. So I appreciate it. And best to you, and goodbye.
Peace. Cheers. Thank you. Awesome callers. Awesome callers. All right. Next up, we got Matt. Matt, how are you doing, sir?
Bertie, this is just awesome. I am just delighted to finally have the opportunity to actually be live. To actually see one of your shows live. Awesome. I want to thank you for what you do. I do live streaming myself, so I know what all is involved in the work that goes on behind the scenes to make it happen. Man, you do nice work, and I just definitely wanted to congratulate you for a great show, and also congrats to you and Mrs. Birdie on the upcoming baby. Definitely soak it all in, brother. Speaking from experience, the time truly goes quick. Next thing you know, she's going to be driving and getting ready for college and life. So.
Man, that is so kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is a lot of work, but I don't want that to go unaddressed because I appreciate it that, you just took some time there to say that. Thank you so much. And I'm curious to hear what you got.
Yeah. So I've been following Idaho 4 literally since it happened. I've been into true crime since I was a teenager. Kind of got into true crime reading Helter Skelter back in the day. And honestly, this is one of the most convoluted cases I've encountered. But, Brian Kohberger is, let's be honest, he's a strange, socially awkward guy for sure. But all along, I just have not felt like he was the guy.
He doesn't look like
No. I was a paramedic for a number of years and have seen a variety of wounds up close and personal. And hearing the details in the autopsy reports, there's really no way in my mind that a single person with a single weapon did all of this, particularly in the compressed timeline that we're being fed. So here it kind of is my theory, and this is actually particular to one aspect of the case. and that is how the knife sheath got to where it got to. There is at least anecdotal evidence that Brian Koberger had been a customer at the Mad Greek restaurant where Maddie worked. My thinking is this. One day Koberger's in the Mad Greek eating, and Maddie's his waitress. And, they do the typical small talk between staff and customer. And somewhere in the conversation, Maddie mentioned that she perhaps had a stalker, or there was some kind of threat that she was feeling. And, Koberger in his mind saw this as a way to potentially get in good with a pretty girl. And he knew he had a knife, the K-bar, out in his car for when he would go hiking. He went to the car, got it, and gave it to Maddie, telling her to take it and keep it for protection. Yeah, I'm thinking it was likely an awkward interchange between them, but really kind of a weird moment. But she took the knife, took it home with her, and the night of the murders, she likely got the knife out in an effort to defend herself, probably had it taken away from her and used on her. But there's where the sheath comes from. In my opinion, something like that is the missing link as to how the knife and sheath got to where it got to. This may be a bit of a stretch, and I may not have the scenario exactly right, but I feel like something like this is on the right track.
You know what? I'm gonna give you credit there, because if you don't stretch, at this point, you're probably not going to find the truth, right? And you have to be comfortable with being able to do that. So I give you props for being able to come up here and share that theory, given that. I love whenever people involve like their own like human experience, human behavior of, okay, so you see a pretty girl, that's your waitress. Maybe you want to impress her somehow. I don't know, maybe even if he was wearing it on his belt loop or whatever, it's a brand new sheath too. But I get your point. You're saying that there could have been some weird situation that led to this. And I don't think that it's a stretch, though, that at some point you have to start to wonder, was that knife sheath so new because it was just a home defense weapon that sat in a drawer or under the mattress until they needed it?
Exactly.
I think it's a great point, Matt. You had a lot of people agreeing with you in the chat. Anything else? What else about this case gets you?
Man, what doesn't get me? I mean, it's I kind of drive my wife crazy sometimes because I'm kind of keeping her, informed on the latest stuff and the latest thoughts and latest evidence. But I mean, I'm leaning toward the frats and or sororities having some heavy involvement in this, but it really seems like there's just a revolving door of potential suspects, all of them with motive to one degree or another. And so, it's like I said, I've been following true crime since I was a teenager, and I'll be 57 in September. And this is by far the most convoluted case I've ever run across.
I would say me too. Happy early birthday as well, Matt. And
thank you.
Of course. I think what gets people about this case, bro, is that there's such simple things that should have had an answer immediately. And now you look years down the road, the answer to them is we still don't have the answer. And the hoops and the diminishing return of theorizing on said simple answers has allowed the mainstream media, has allowed the state, some of the victims' families to almost use our momentum against us to be like, see how crazy they're getting? And it's also like, well, what are we supposed to do? We're trying to find if this is the truth. And so we don't have the info,
Exactly. And, there's all of the seeming dropping of the ball by law enforcement, the fact that the unknown male DNAs at the scene were never tested, the hair in Ethan's hand was never tested. That's beyond botching. That's like willful exclusion which really continues to point to possibly some kind of a cover up.
Oh, for sure. It's a cup. They're scrubbing. What's the word that I'm looking for? You'd said purposeful. Yeah, there's intent behind it for sure. I don't know how there couldn't be. Like, that's one of the things that bothers me is I understand there is bad police work. From what we can see, maybe preservation.
But this is beyond incompetence. I mean,
yeah, that's a great way to put it. I totally agree, man. Well, dude, I appreciate the kind words. Happy early birthday, and thank you so much for being a part of the Hive, and thank you for the call in, Matt. I hope you have a great weekend.
You do the same. Cheers,
brother. Peace. That was so nice of him. That made my night. All righty. So next up, we have HD Singer 23. How are you doing, HD?
Hey there. Can you hear me?
Oh, I had you for a second.
Okay, I think I can. Okay, yeah.
I got you.
I have my headphones on. All right. So I've been following you for the longest time, and I want to say thank you for giving me ideas outside the box. It's one of the greatest aspects of, not looking at it directly from mainstream's view. And so I would just want to give you some things so then, everybody else in the chat can, understand it. But there are a couple things that have been swept under the rug, and you can see it traced around in the documents.
Okay.
A very big one is marker 7.
Marker 7
in document batch 4, before everything was redacted. They had this close-up of marker 7, but when you go to the evidence log, it was around the 18th and the 17th. They have Martinez doing markers up to the 6th, the 6th marker, and then they cut off the 7th marker, and then they replace it with marker C7, and it's a totally different person.
I'm just trying to find it. You can keep talking. If I'm not looking at the screen, it's just because I'm looking for the photo, trying to pull up. But okay, so you're saying that they cut it off at 7. So 6 is there, 7's there, 7's not there in the documents, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Also, one thing, it's a close-up of Xana for sure, because in those markers, that was the close-ups. But they didn't. They totally wiped it from everything. There's nothing about it. It just says a marker about something. But then there's nothing. You can't find it anywhere. It's just you have it in the photos, but you can't find it in the documents. And they cut it off purposely. And a totally different person decides to fill out the rest of the sheet.
That's so weird. I wish I could pull this up. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to do it on the spot here, but that is, so when I go back and I edit this for the quick cut, I'll obviously have the overlays too for people, which that's one of the benefits of doing the quick cut is whenever people have visuals to pull up and I can't do it live, I will throw it into the quick cut. So do you have any ideas on what it might be next to Xana? Does anybody in the chat know? I'll throw some up on screen, but any ideas, HD?
It's a weird. Everything is everything's weirdly placed. In Bethany's room, you find Xana's number 19 Steelers jersey.
Yeah,
and it's a close up of it, and it doesn't make any sense if Xana would, it should be in Xana's room. And if Bethany's a Patriots fan, why the need for the Steelers jersey?
Right. A lot of people have pointed out that Steelers jersey, which tells me a couple of things. One, I just think that Xana and Ethan were home so much earlier, moving around. Yep. I think also, too, one of the things is that I feel that there was a lot. Like, I don't think nobody was home until just the roommates got home. Like, I think there was a pregame. I think there was a party. I think there was people there later in the night.
Oh, you would be shocked. Like, I'll tell you, do you know what spectrography is? You at least know, like, music editing.
Yep.
So, picture sound, like, recorded on a graph.
Okay.
The louder spikes will, increase and decrease depending on how loud it is and how consistent it is. You can go onto any free, like, spectrography, like, audio thing, put in those clips, and when I looked into those clips, it turns out that the consistency was 2, 3, 4, 1 for the clips like that were released from I think it was starting at 2 to 3, and very strange. You can, like, I just encourage everybody to do it themselves, because it's something that it doesn't lie. You can edit, you can do all that stuff. And if I were, to be bluffing, that means we couldn't understand astrology, because spectrography,
right? I get your point.
Us understand, like, yeah.
So okay, so then, I want to go back just one more time to that document thing. So, because when I go to look for this, or if anybody in the or anybody in the chat has it and can email me it. So just so I make sure that I'm understanding, you're saying you can see marker 7 in the photo, but then in the documents it's gone. Do I have that in the right order?
Yes, completely.
Okay. All right. Well, HD, I appreciate the call, brother, and thank you again for being a part of the Hive. Tune it in, and I will see you in the chat. I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Cheers, brother. Bye. I threw a poll into the chat. When I say, do you believe that there was a pregame or a party at King Road the night of the killing? I am not talking about, Dylan, which he refers to, we had a party, so we cleaned, and there shouldn't be any DNA. Linguistically speaking, too, if you've read that book, the Already Inside, Maddie Mogan, and the Final Message to the World, linguistically, if somebody says they found DNA, it would usually be like, oh, thank God, not questioning like, really? The linguistics thing has really piqued my interest, just as far as from a curiosity, a natural curiosity standpoint. But I do think that there were people at King Road. I also think that, in that house, you see a massive speaker, massive boombox that has like all the LED lights in it at one point that's up in the living room. And I feel like you hear very loud music. That speaker could probably be picked up on all those cameras. So you can't count it out that it's not coming from that speaker. Let me just go ahead and stop this poll. And then I got Bellamishi up next. So we said 83% of you all in the Hive thinks that, yes, there were people over at King Road for a party or pregame the night of the murders. And 17% said no. All right. Next up, we got Bellamishi, pretty much. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Bertie. I'm not going to talk about the game tonight. That's reserved for tomorrow night or tomorrow morning. And I'm so honored that you chose me along with the other 3 great callers.
It's going to be awesome.
All of them are great. They're awesome. And I can't wait to be able to talk with them and you at the same time and the Hive. But tonight, I want to talk about Dylan Mortensen. I've been doing a lot of research, and she just keeps coming up. And I want to tell you what I've been thinking about. I watched this other channel, Bronx Tales.
Yep.
I can't remember the lady's name because the dog's name is Bronx. But she was going through the autopsies. She had some pictures done. She works in medical care, so she could literally describe the wounds and what they meant. And she was talking about Xana's autopsy. And what she said made so much sense to me. Xana was stabbed over 57 times. She had stabs in her back, her legs, her arms. And the lady said she felt like Xana was fighting because she fought. She had a lot of defensive wounds. So that's how they can tell if you fought, because the defensive wounds on your arms, your hands, because you're trying to stop the stab. And she said she felt like Xana was fighting a woman, not a man, because as small as Xana was, a man would have killed her immediately. She wouldn't have had all that fight. But the person that was fighting her didn't have a lot of strength equal to what a man would have, because I mean, I hate to say it, but men, I don't really hate to say it, but men are stronger than women, and they can do more damage quicker than a woman can. And so I understood that. And then I started looking at pictures of all of them, and I noticed that Dylan towers over all the girls in that house. She's larger. Down here where I'm from, they say she's big boned. She ain't fat. She's athletic. And she's a liar. And I don't know if she's the one that attacked Xana, but I feel like if Xana was attacked by a woman, it would probably be her, because she's got all the skin in the game. Think about it. She's living in the house. She don't call the police. She don't call anybody for help, but she calls people. She Snapchats. Now, my granddaughter explained to me on Snapchat. So if I have a Snapchat and I want to send you a picture, Birdie, that picture ain't going to last forever. It's going to disappear. So she could have been Snapchatting all those people's bodies. I believe she knew what was going on. And a lot of people always refer back to that 4 a.m. I don't believe that 4 a.m. is true at all. I believe that where we hear the video of people screaming in agony, I believe that's where it happened. So I believe they had more than 8 hours. I believe they had around 10 hours to do a cover-up. To cover up what happened in there by cleaning up, messing up everything. Somebody told them this is what you need to do.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Dylan's not smart, though. But let me tell you why she ain't smart. When she's in the interview with the officer and she goes, "Oh, well, we cleaned up last week for Parents Week, so you wouldn't be able to find any DNA." Anybody with a mind that's just normal, like a 5-year-old, would know that cleaning up last week ain't going to cover up what happened last night.
But you would say it maybe to, in your own mind, if you're nervous, you might say it to think, I'm going to try to maybe, these cops, they're not going to find anything. Like almost like planting a seed of doubt.
Yeah, and exactly. She wasn't smart enough to know there were other ways to cover up. Everything that she was doing was a cover up. But I'm going to tell you the reason the police didn't snap on it. They didn't snap on it because they had already been contacted by their superiors and told what they needed to do. Because in a town like that, and this is where my research really came in, the college funds the police force 33% of their funding each year. Now, if you take that 33% away, they're going to have less money for things such as salaries. They're going to have to cut stuff. So, of course, if the college calls and says to whomever, "I need a favor, go light on this. We've already handled it. Or we'll just cut your funding." I just believe that there's a lot of corruptness. I believe that each police officer that came there that day had already been there. I believe that each police officer that did interrogations purposely didn't ask the right questions, purposely treated them all like a victim. Because before you're a victim, that very first day, you're not a victim yet. You should be a suspect. And I ain't trying to be funny, but I bet if it had been a house full of men, they would have went to jail for not calling. They would have went to jail because not calling for help is a crime.
Especially after what came out with the you're aware, and I just think that this whole, I was frozen in shock, but then yet in the same breath you say, me and Bethany, we just went to bed because we're like, nothing like that ever happens in Moscow. So you're contradicting yourself left and right, and you're also clearly not frozen. Your Apple Watch shows movement, and you're on apps, you're calling people, you're sending Snapchats. So that argument is BS in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that her whole, everything that I think that no one should even give any credence to anything she said. Like when she says, I heard a man and he said, I'm here to help you. I don't believe that. I don't. I believe nothing that she said. I don't believe that no one ran up the stairs and then ran down the stairs. Because first of all of them have iPhones. So we know where they're at. But the police won't let everybody know where they're at. Because the police knows that Xana and Ethan was there. Xana's father said, I'm not feeling well. We're going to order pizza and stay in. There is a pizza delivery truck.
No,
there is a pizza box.
You're a conspiracy theorist, Bellamisha. It can't be like that. Just, it's like, don't trust your eyes. Don't trust your ears. Don't trust what you see there. No, like, I can't stand that argument with the pizza thing.
I mean, I really don't, because it's there. It's literally there. So that confirms what the father said.
Yes.
That's confirmation. If a real detective was really working, and none of the detectives in Moscow are real, I hope somebody's listening from Moscow that knows them, or that they're listening and being nosy. Because this is how I feel. They did a shit job on purpose. Okay, now they've tied it all up with a little cute bow. He's in jail, and he's not even the guilty party. The guilty party has already graduated. They've went on to their lives, their entitled lives, because everyone that did this lived an entitled life. I guarantee you there's not one poor killer. There's not one killer that was working 3 jobs to go through college that was living in a shit apartment. Because if there was, they would have already came forward. They got all these entitled people whose parents are rich dentists and rich lawyers covering for them. They've probably been covering for them, doing stuff their whole lives. This probably wasn't even anything that they are not used to. And so if the police and people that are NPCs, yes, if they want to say, oh, it's over with, he's in jail, what are y'all looking for? We're looking for justice. Because just because you're sitting in jail don't mean that you're guilty. And just because you say I'm guilty doesn't mean that you're guilty, because you don't want to die. Okay? And I want to say this because a lot of people don't know this. And come September, if there's not an appeal in, I know people are going to say it must be true because he didn't appeal. He does have a right to appeal. But if he appeals through 1107 or a 2254, this is what can happen. He can go back to jail and he can get the death penalty. They're not going to say, oh, okay, we're just going to let you out. If they don't agree completely, they can say, okay, you can have a real trial this time. And I feel like if he did get a real trial, Moscow will give him the death penalty because they want to shut him up. I believe he knows something, only because when he was arrested, he asked, who else was arrested? So he knows that there's other people. Why would you ask that? I've been arrested, and I've never once in my life said, who else has been arrested? Because anything that I've ever done, and I've only done one horrible thing in my life, I didn't need to ask who else was arrested. I knew it was me. I knew why they was arresting me, and I just shut up because it's your right to be quiet and not say anything and not give a statement. So all you young people that don't know that, if you ever get arrested, shut up. Don't say nothing.
It's Friday. And what do they say Friday is? It's Shut the up Friday. Those two marijuana lawyers are hilarious. I want to say one thing before I put you down, and I'm so excited for tomorrow to get you back up for the roundtable. But
Oh yeah, me too.
And when you said, though, that if Brian goes to a trial and he's in the Moscow area or just that Idaho area, they can convict him and give him the death penalty. It reminded me of like a Stephen Avery making a murder situation where it was like was it a day before that he was supposed to get paid out for this lawsuit? He was arrested for the murder of the lady that came and took photos of that car on their junkyard. The Stephen Avery one is crazy to me too.
Yeah, it is so crazy. I've looked at that and saw so many shows about him. And honestly, when he killed that woman that came there, and then he says, they made me this way. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that him going to prison and he didn't do anything, and whatever happened to him there could have twisted him. Or he could have been the killer in the first place and he just got out because he was a damn good con man and just continued to kill. But it's a sad situation either way for the lady that went there believing that he was innocent.
True. Very true. And Bellamisha, as always, I mean, by the time I always get done talking to you, I'm ready to run through a brick wall for you. I think tomorrow is going to be absolutely awesome. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a fantastic night.
Hey, can I say one more thing?
Go for it.
Can I address someone?
Sure.
Okay. Dylan, I want you to know something. I'm watching you. I'm investigating you, and I know what you did, and you know what you did. And if you get away with it, you get away with it this time, but you won't get away with it the next time. I promise. Because I know you killed that girl. I feel it in my soul.
Dude, I got goosebumps from that, Bellamisha. Holy hell. I don't know if she's ever going to hear it, but we just did. And I can tell you that a lot of people for sure feel that same type of way. So with that, I hope you have an awesome night. I'm stoked for tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central. I will talk to you then.
All right, then. Bye,
Thanks,
y'all.
Bella. Yep. See ya. Oh my God, dude. When she said, "Can I address somebody?" and she then said, "Dylan," I'm not going to lie. I thought she was about to go after Dylan Mort 2.0. I don't know why. That's where my head went to. But she was talking to Dylan. And it's always great getting to talk to Bellamisha. Just so much passion and fire. It's always great. And tomorrow's going to be a great roundtable with her on it. Don't miss it. Okay, next up, we got Lil Bit. Little Bit, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. What do you got for us this evening?
Well, I wanted to comment on Matt, who called in earlier. He, his thought was about the sheath, how it could have gotten there. Maybe over a couple visits or whatnot. Him and Maddie struck up a conversation. I'm just a girl, so he was going to try to help her and give her protection. Okay. I remember correctly, Brian Koberger kind of already did that, didn't he? It was with a different girl. And she said, either somebody was trying to get in or was, creeping her out, maybe surveilling her. And so and I think they knew each other from class or something. And she gave him a key and he went in and kind of set her up with a security system.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Koberger security system. I'm going to try to find that while you're explaining that. But yeah, you're right. So he was, okay. So where you go with this? There's a pattern maybe to want to help?
Well, no, when he said that, I had forgotten about it. And I thought, what, he did already kind of have that story, with the other girl.
You're right. Right here. Well, actually, this article says Brian Koberger broke into a female student's home and installed security cameras months before Idaho murders report. Now, I'm going to make a bet here. I'm going to make a bet that by the time I get to the third sentence in the second paragraph, we're going to know that this headline is probably not Brian Koberger doing a B&E. And let's just see. New evidence shows that Brian Koberger may have infiltrated a woman's home months before he allegedly carried out November slayings at the University of Idaho students. Koberger befriended a woman, snuck into her home, and moved items around before convincing her to let him install a security video system.
Oh, that's right. Supposedly, he was doing stuff to scare her, so she would ask him to do that.
So when the woman asked Koberger, unaware that he may have been the perpetrator, Koberger convinced her to install the video security system. So Brian did all of this and committed the murders just so that he could convince this woman he's befriended to install security cameras, and that he may have been able to hack the system and view the footage remotely because he knew the woman's Wi-Fi information.
Well, I guess that probably wasn't true because they didn't find any of that, right, in his stuff.
No, I don't like what. How so? And then that's what's crazy to me is you can read this and it's like, so this is from the Brunswick News, and it's just like, why does like written media get a pass on just absurd shit like that?
I don't know, because it's written, I guess, and not spoken.
That's just crazy.
Here's this is what I really was calling in for. And I love these creators, okay? So this is not a speaking ill on anybody. But I went on a live call-in show last night. I think it was last night before. And it had Chris McDonough on it and one of his friends, Bob and John. And because my whole thing has been with like everybody, just kind of like everybody being law enforcement, retired law enforcement, is if you just look at the crime itself and the time frame, my question's always been how do you guys make it acceptable that he by himself did this, and whatever damage we knew in the beginning, which wasn't like we know now, but it was still bad with the kids or the young adults. How can they actually say that there was nobody else? Well, last night I asked if they thought, he was guilty. And Bertie, all of them said yes, 100%. They also all said that, and that he did it alone. Okay, he did it alone, and it was 100%. And then Chris was telling me about a story, I guess. Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Out in New York about how this guy in 9 seconds or something like that stabbed 5 people. Okay, I get that, because when you run towards a crowd and you got a knife in your hand, you can stab a bunch of people in a short period of time. I mean, a stab being what? A finger cut? I mean, we don't know, but on them. And I thought, well, that was kind of silly. I said, why do y'all think that? And he said, well, one, obviously, the plead. I brought up DNA. I'll come right back to that. They don't think a cleanup happened. One of the guys said he was either very careful, not naked, running with high knees, like, I like to picture it, but he was either careful or he just got lucky. They also think because he cleaned his car, which I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm kind of scared to keep my car so clean.
Right?
His alibi, stargazing on a cloudy night, it's just ridiculous, they said. And I thought, my gosh, I'm looking at it and it scares me because it's the mentality of like Chris was a detective or, and these people, there's more of them out there, but it's just like looking at the evidence that we had in the very beginning for them not to second guess any of that. And for them to really believe he did it by himself, 100% alone. And Chris said they estimated 9 minutes and that there was no cleanup. And it just, that bothers me a lot.
It bothers me too. And you want to know what else bothers me now that you say that? And I'm not throwing shade at any guests that we've ever had in here. I like Jeffrey Gentry a lot. I'm not a crime scene investigator. But even before he came back on, right? So I know that, and I think I've said this, but after Jeffrey Gentry was on the stream, right? The guy on call of his family reached out to him. They watched that stream. They watched it. They had a lot of people reaching out to him, said, hey, you should check this out. Listen to it. So then he came back on, but he was looking into the case. Everything, too, that he said their interactions was very pleasant. Like, I was like, oh, man. He goes, no, it was fine. So I was like, okay. Well, at least that tells me as far as then, like, from a guest, he's credible enough to maybe get that, like, kind of that level of respect, if that makes sense. However, but even the first time before any of that happened, when I was talking to him before we went live, I mean, he had said he didn't think there was that much of a cleanup. He didn't say there was, he's like, I don't see evidence of a cleanup. And people took that as he's saying there's no cleanup. No, he's saying like behind the doors, there's no mop stains that people might forget. He's right. Like, I don't know if he's meaning that it was so well done. There's no evidence of the cleanup. And then he was also saying that one person could do this. Now, not knowing the documents, okay, but think of how many crime scenes he's been on where he's never had documents and he's got to theorize on what happened, and he didn't see that. Right.
That's the problem I have with this. And it's like, okay, so they cleaned it so well, there was no evidence. Well, isn't that the evidence? I mean, because I said you're going from one bedroom to another bedroom, and there's not even a footprint. Like, there's nothing. And that wasn't evidence of a cleanup. And he was talking about the DNA numbers, and he said it was 5 point something octillion. And he said that's 27-0. And I said, okay. And I said, but it was like, this type of DNA and everything. Well, he kind of went over this whole DNA thing a little bit. And he's like, and I said, well, they can't say it's 100% his, even on the conclusive of the DNA they have. And he goes, right. And it took me a while to get it, but he was saying like 99% of people, they could, say it wasn't theirs, but the 1%, and being that there was 1%. And to me, again, that was silly. I thought, my goodness, and I saw some octillion stuff, kind of looked it up and researched it, and they say the higher the number of octillion is actually less chance it could be him.
Well, that means, yeah, because it would be like going from like a decimal, like if you have a 1% to you have a 0.01%, 0.001%. That's how I've always thought of it. Is that right? That's going with like what you've said too, right?
Yeah, that's the easier way to think of it.
Yeah. So, oh, geez, it's so crazy. So did you get through, like when I asked, did you get through to them? I mean, did you say anything that piqued their interest, did their eyebrows raise a little bit, or were they just dead set on, okay, here we go, we got a pro burger?
You know what? I didn't even try, because my thought process the whole time was listening to why they thought he was innocent. And I thought, okay, this is the type of, not saying it bad, but the type of people or the mindset that they have to really believe this. If, let's just say they really do believe it, there wouldn't be enough time. And two, I don't think I would have been able to change anybody's mind on that with the thought process was. Now, I did kind of think of something about the exculpatory evidence with Bethany.
Okay.
I wanted to say, and I thought about it with them, and I wanted to say it, but I didn't. I was being very polite. But I said, maybe the exculpatory evidence was Bethany and Brian Kohlberger stargazing on a cloudy night together. So maybe they had a date.
I mean, that would be, because a lot of people have said, to your point of, were they together? Well, we don't know, right? We're taking her word that she's there, that Bethany's there. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, I don't know if she was or not. I don't think she was with Brian Goldberger looking at the stars, but I did think that would be a funny thing to say to them.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, is like, obviously it's not saying that you actually believe that, but you could say, okay, well, you're going to say Brian Kohlberger was here. Why don't you prove to me that Bethany was there? Why don't you prove to me where Ethan and Xana were?
So I see what you're saying. Oh, Marty, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like, if you're going to tell me that Brian Koberger is taking this route, you're going to use all these cell phone pings. Shouldn't you have to show that the people that he allegedly killed were there, or the people that quote unquote witnessed it that you referenced in the PCA were even there?
Yeah. Yeah. And guys made a comment. He said, well, and there was a car like his in that area. And I'm like,
Yeah.
like his, huh? Well, there you go.
Oh, it's so scary, actually, a little bit. It is scary, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your evening. Thank you so much for the call.
So you too. Bye.
Cheers. Yep, bye-bye. Okay, Hive, great calls so far. Jules from Australia in the Hive Down Under. Thank you for the reminder, everybody. We got almost 1,500 people in here right now. Please go ahead, hit that like button. If we get 1,000 likes, I will gift 5+ Hive memberships. And that way, tomorrow during the roundtable, you can chat. Obviously, all of the streams are open to the public. You could watch them. It's just tomorrow is the one day we shut down the live chat for the Hive Plus folks. So I will give 5 of those away if we hit 1,000 likes. Now, moving on, we have Miss Growth Redacted. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How's your Friday going?
Great.
Good.
So what's funny is you did that poll about the party.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was calling about. So it's not so much a theory, it's like a scenario, maybe, I guess.
Okay.
So my gut has told me for a long time that, we're looking through 1112 camera.
Yep.
We're looking right at 1119. And
Yes.
I have always thought something happened at 1119. Not necessarily the entire thing, but something was going on over there as well. Because when we've talked about how there's 2 separate things that possibly happened that, we don't know exactly what the 2 scenarios were. We really don't know exactly what happened for sure. But I think in my gut, there has been something that happened across from that camera because there's so much activity in that window. There's so many things. Like we see it, but we don't see it. Like we're seeing something, but we don't know what we're seeing. Like there's the flash of light, there's movement, there's in and out, all this stuff going on, people being dropped off over there. They talked about there was a party. Maybe there was a party. Maybe it wasn't just a one house party. Maybe whatever happened was going on in that whole area, because there's people being dropped off and driving around the entire night, and the sounds we're hearing, I believe, were outside. They were not in the house. There might have been some sounds in the house, but I think a lot of it happened outside, and where camera can pick up sound, and we're hearing some pretty clear voices and words and stuff like that. And every time I see that camera footage, I'm thinking, what's going on across the street? Like, what is going on in that house, And, I didn't even come into this case until I found your channel. I found several others, and I was in prison when I heard about this case and saw Brian Koberger on TV and was just like, oh my God, this dude did all this stuff. But I still was just like, what's going on with this case? So when I got out and I'm home and I started finding the lives and stuff about it, literally blew my mind how bad it is. And we really shouldn't lose hope, because there are things just now coming out with the Karen Reed case that happened that are going to blow that whole thing wide open.
I haven't heard. What is that one? I have not heard the updates at all, because It's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about this. I am only like when I say like I'm literally unable to even try to comprehend updates in other cases because I feel like there's so much still coming in from this case. And with the whole September deadline, I'm not saying that we're stopping, but I'm just like, I'm flooring it until then on this.
Well,
What happened?
so Michael Proctor, who was the lead investigator in Karen Reed case, his text messages from the past 13 years just came out talking about it is bad. It is real bad. He is like literally a full-time racist. Like he might as well be a skinhead. Like the things he said are so horrific that it's going to blow that case wide open. And all the cases he's touched are going to be looked into. The actual, I don't know the name of the place, forgive me, but like they said we are now going to look into all the cases he has looked at and gone into because of these, because the racism has been so bad with it. I can't even tell you what he said. It's that bad. I don't want your live to get shut down.
Well, I'm not. I'm looking at some of them right now. It's crazy.
Let's not lose hope, because with how bad that case was, I think this one's worse in so many areas. And I feel like some stuff happened in other places. There was, like we said, there could have been an OD. There was, the game. Like my flabbers are gasted right now from all the stuff we have talked about. That Mike's, I won't get back into the first call I did, but my experience with things have opened my mind so much that the corruption all over the United States right now is so bad. And that's why we can't figure this shit out. Excuse my language, but like there's so many things going on in so many cases everywhere that it's crazy. Like, Bellamecia talking about Dylan, and that blew my mind earlier. I was just, my mouth kind of dropped, but like I thought the same thing. Dylan had a hand in this. I feel in my gut that she played a part big time. And my thing with across the street, let me get back to what I was saying, is I feel like when we say frats were involved, definitely frats were involved. Like they if they weren't pulled into it, they were part of it. They across the street, behind the camera, beside the camera, Linda Lane, the Whites, all of that is connected. I feel like the police are connected. All of it's connected somehow, some way. There is absolutely a cover up. That's obvious. And once we figure it out, I think our mouths are just going to drop open, because it may or may not be along the lines of what we've said. But the whole party thing, just, it's always in the back of my mind. Like there was a party, maybe it was on purpose party, maybe it was a party they planned to have as a distraction. I don't know, but I feel like it was all planned ahead of time. And
I agree with you, because I have gone back and forth on what Chris Whitcomb said, for whatever it's worth, right? My 2 cents on his comment about, well, you have to think about, because somebody had asked a question in the chat that said, why would they do this in the house, right? So if their argument too is, well, they didn't expect to run into Xana. We'll just use the mainstream narrative, right? They didn't expect to see Xana. Well, why would you kill Kaylee in the house when she lives with, it's a party house. People are always there. So from a planning standpoint of the approach they said somebody would plan, it would be, you're going to take your chances with a knife in a crowded party house with 5 cars in the driveway, paper thin walls, and you're not going to, do you know what I'm saying? Like if you were really plotting it out, that doesn't make sense. So the emotional ramp up of rage, like kind of happening like really quickly, makes sense to me. But then like the aftermath feels like it was coordinated before it ever happened. So it's kind of both.
Right.
It's weird.
And I also feel like, as along the lines of what you're saying, okay, we planned it out ahead of time. There's a party, maybe there's multiple parties going on, and how they possibly bullied Dylan because of the Halloween thing, and whatever else was going on between the house members and maybe outside people of the house. It doesn't even necessarily have to mean all those house members had a problem. Maybe other people did too, and they wanted in on it, because I watched that show on Hulu or whatever it was about frat life and the hazing stuff. And it totally blew my mind and really fell in line with what's going on with this case, because it's like there's a code of conduct there, and these people that's a lifetime thing that doesn't stop, and once it's just like when I brought up the Karen Reed case and how Michael Proctor acted that way. This is a brotherhood of people. It's not just frat, it's cops too, and I think a lot of cops come from that kind of lifestyle, or they were brought into it in a way to be a certain way, so I think what happened, some Ellie were involved and they're part of those frats from long ago, and they, you remember when we talked about what's his name, the cop that could have been involved with Kaylee? Like, who knows? There could have been something.
Rosie, that was what it was.
Yes, Rosie.
Yeah. Yep.
Rosie, I do feel in my gut there's something with him, because why go test your car to see what it looks like on camera? Why go test these things, and I mean, I could be off, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of times when I followed my gut in the past, it's usually pretty close to what's going on. And I know a lot of other people have agreed with that scenario about across the street, because there's so much activity over there. Like, why the hell wouldn't there be something going on over there? Why not?
Well, I think it's a good point, and I don't necessarily disagree with you at all. There was stuff going on that, they wanted to play it off as a quiet night in Moscow. And Growth Redacted, it is always great to chat with you. I'm glad you called back in, and
Thank you.
I hope you have a great night.
I'm so happy for you and the baby. And as soon as you said about the heartbeat, it totally brightened my day, because I just got a new job for the first time since I've been out of prison, and I have been working my butt off in this housekeeping job at this hotel, and it's killing me. But I'm trying to come up in the world. I'm really trying to do my best at bringing myself up out of this slump I've been in. And your streams, like, I have missed some, and I'm gonna miss tomorrow, and I'm so upset because I have to work, but I'm gonna have you in my ear and I will chime in as soon as I can. But I'm so exhausted with this job, and it's like kicking my butt. But I'm so happy for you and Miss Birdie.
Well, thank you so much, Growth, and congratulations on the job. And keep going. Right, you got us as a support system, and I'm glad that you tune in. And just know that.
And it's a start. It's a start. I've taken 3 years out of prison to finally get myself up out of myself and to just do something new. And it's $11 an hour, but it's better than $0 an hour. So I'm trying. I'm really trying, and I love y'all. I love all of y'all. I'm so happy to be part of, the Hive. And I just got your shirt recently, so I love it. I've even worn it to bed.
Well, that is incredible. And I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people smiling watching this that are happy for you, Growth. And so I hope you have an awesome day at work.
Take up more of your time. Y'all have a great night.
Cheers. Thank you, Growth.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That is so cool. That's freaking so cool. Keep going, Growth. Keep going to everybody in here. I mean, I know, speaking of, Bella Misha's trying to get her PhD. There's so many people that are doing awesome stuff in here. outside of this case, we have just an awesome community. Just an absolutely awesome community. It's so, I can't even put it into words, to be honest. It's a great call. Great end to that call. All right. Next up, we got Dead Men Awake. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, brother. How's it
Good
going?
to hear from you. Good, good, good. What do you got for us tonight?
All right. So hear me out. All right.
Okay.
Okay. This is the reason why I love your shows, because you're open to so many different thoughts and different ideas, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing that stuck with me, it was just interesting that Dylan and Bethany both were like adamant about it was Vampire Diaries. And I just thought that was odd. Like, why? Like, you know, in the wake of what happened. So I went in, I looked into a couple of things, and it turns out that Dr. Catherine Roslin, who was Ramsland, right? She was Koberger's his professor, right?
Yep.
Over in. So she is a big author when it comes to vampire novels.
Really?
Yes. And she actually, the creator of Vampire Diaries and the creator of Twilight, used a lot of her works as inspiration.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. And so then when you go and you look, and if you I guess Google, his name is Professor DJ Williams.
Okay. Idaho State University Forensic Behavioral Science. Here we go. I got it up now.
And
Is this what you
yeah,
want or no?
yeah. So if you look him up, what he studies is the psychology of vampires, right? So it sounds crazy.
Wait,
but
what?
Yes. So this guy's that's what he specializes in. That's his. And Dr. Catherine Ramslin, whatever how you pronounce it, she and him actually have been together on documentaries and stuff, speaking about the vampires and stuff like that, of the psychological of killings that happen through people who channel energy, right? So it's all weird stuff. But then if you look up Idaho and vampires, it is a huge subculture.
Oh my God. This is on Idaho. What the hell? Dude, seek to understand them and how they're understood. Hang on. My interest involve how self-identified vampires understand themselves and practices and how they are interpreted by others based on existing social processes and available social discourses. Williams said, I am one of the few scholars who has worked directly with the Vampire Diary. Get the hell out of here. What is this?
Yeah, right. So what are the that's crazy coincidence, right? And
dude, hang on, I gotta read this next line.
Yeah,
it's taken me a long time to get the trust to work with these self-identified vampires because they're skeptical about how outsiders will perceive them. And they feel they are easily misunderstood, said Williams, who has made contact with the vampire subculture in several large urban areas of the United States. Williams said, as a social scientist, he's not concerned with being able to scientifically define or identify those people who consider themselves vampires. Rather, his interest is to study and communicate about a self-identified group. Mythical vampires are powerful, mysterious, and seductive. Some of their traits are highly valued within the mainstream, while other traits are despised. Mythical vampires reflect a range of attractive and undesirable human characteristics. Dude, I'd like to see that guy's hard drives. Actually,
yeah, 100%.
Holy hell. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
So,
That's
right.
crazy.
Right. So then when you know how like a lot of people are saying that Dylan's memory of I'm here to help you was from an episode of Vampire Diaries that she was recalling an episode that was on. But if you connect all of it together, if you look up Idaho vampire subculture, it is massive.
Okay. Idaho vampire subculture. Let's see what we got here. So the first article that pops up is actually that dude, DJ Williams, that we just read. Holy hell. Local 8 News. Real life vampires and fairies aim to make Pocatello a more inclusive place to live. Real life vampires and fairies, along with Wiccans and pagans, are tired of feeling like they have to hide in Idaho. Their goal is simple: to make southeastern Idaho a more inclusive place to live. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and so the deeper you go in, you'll just see there's a lot, like Boise is becoming a huge place, and it's not vampires in the mythical sense, but like people that are, and a big thing, and I think there's a huge connection because if you look up, there's so many weird cases in Idaho, and especially the Midwest with like just ritualistic, and that's where I was kind of getting with this, that it seems too ritualistic. You have 1122, right? November 2022, right? Their house was November, and then the house next door was, if the murder started before 12 a.m., it would have been 1112. So you have these like connections that are kind of interesting, like all these number connections, and I just think it's very intriguing. And then you have on top of that Brad Pitt, right? He was a member of Sigma Chi,
Okay.
and he starred in a movie that Dr. Catherine Roslin helped, produce, which was Interview with the Vampire. And so all these connections just seem so. What are the odds in a small like Idaho?
That ain't a coincidence, bro.
You know what I'm
That
saying? Like,
can't
'cause
be
I
a
believe,
coincidence.
yeah, I believe the occult. I think a lot of things are. I think there's a lot. I think a lot of things don't make sense because we're only given the surface level stuff when things are way, way deeper. And it's like we're not meant to make these connections.
No. And dude, so okay, you want to hear a Stretch Armstrong theory here a little bit? You want to throw
Yeah,
some tinfoil on? Okay. All right. I feel like this could be I'm interested to get your take on this. Okay. So Professor Ramsland won't comment on Brian Koberger, right? We've reached out to Ramsland. We've tried to see if she, give us a few minutes on stream. No, she won't. She said that to mainstream people, she's obviously, no matter how long has passed, she's not going to do it. Find that very, very strange.
yeah.
Okay. Then you think about Ramsland and her relationship with people like the blind torture kill serial killer, the BTK,
Yep.
and essentially is now or was working hand in hand with the FBI to talk about how these crazy serial killers think. And I think she was the only one that could actually get him to talk about it. I believe was kind of her come up. I think that was her big claim to fame. I could be wrong, but I know it's up there in her career. So now you're bringing up Ramsland and the Vampire Diaries, and you're bringing up this Idaho subculture, and then you're talking about Dylan mentions Vampire Diaries. And to me, it just seems as if this wasn't some massive, like I'll say it, like the NIJ
PSYOP.
funding, PSYOP study,
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, Koberger in on it, then there was all hands on deck. We need to clean this narrative up, and we need like the most rock solid story that we can have. And they brought in people that are good at this, like Ramsland, like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like then they
Yeah.
had a team come in and put together a narrative. I don't know what else it could be, bro, because that's crazy.
Well, it just shows you that like our psychology departments and criminal psychology are being ran by people who are really authors and writers. Like, I mean, it's all
So true.
everything's connected. It's like she was writing books about vampires before she even went to criminology. Like, that's kind of bizarre.
I just saw a good comment too that said search for what if there was a I'm not going to share my screen yet because I want to make sure I could put this on there, but what about like knife murder vampires Idaho? I mean, oddly enough, I guess I typed in knife murder, so vampires Idaho murder. Okay, hang on. Self-identify. This is on the National Institute of Health's website.
What?
The self-identified vampirism and risk for false positives by DJ Williams.
Wow.
a case example of team homicide and implications for forensic behavioral science. Historically, reported cases of self-identified vampirism typically have been associated with psychopathology and sometimes a propensity for violence. However, scholars have recently noted a wide range of diverse practices and meanings that all fall under the general description of self-identified vampirism. This brief report focuses on homicide case, male and female partnered offenders. Bro, we've said that this could be a male and a female. Let's go out there. Let's go out there. I'm stretching as far as I can right now. This is starting to creep me out, dude. So, male and female partnered offenders wherein a single victim was murdered and dismembered. Due to specific case evidence, there was controversy regarding whether or not the homicide was motivated by ritualistic, self-identified vampirism. Court documents were reviewed and assessed, and findings suggest that the evidence used to support assertions that homicidal motivations occurred due to ritualistic vampirism was misinterpreted due to the omission of growing multidisciplinary literature on self-identified vampirism. So it's important for forensic experts to be aware of emerging research on alternative identities, including vampirism, that challenge traditional theories and assumptions. Okay. So I'm just thinking, like, so this guy is he making the argument that they can't say that there's a motive because they don't understand self-identified vampires?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, like giving them an out. Like, yeah.
Bro, holy hell. Okay, sorry. I know that I didn't want to, just talk over you on that, but
no, 100%. No, that's that's what I wanted. A little bit of feedback. I'm sitting there thinking, this is kind of, what are the odds of this? Right? Like, what are the odds of all these connections with the vampire? And it was just the one thing. I was reading the transcript about Vampire Diaries. I'm like, that's so weird. And I remember early on when they first arrested Koberger, they were like, oh, he's like a vampire. He never goes out. He just stays inside. He's like, I'm like, what's with all these vampire, like, it's like a weird. And then you start looking up to it, and it's all ritualistic stuff. And, we've said this before on this show. Like, it seems ritualistic. There seems like there's some other thing. And it's just very bizarre.
Dude, I'm going to put you backstage, but that was that was an epic call, bro. Thank you, Dead Men Away. That GOAT award for that, dude. Great research, honestly, because shit like that, like if it lines up, like you didn't make that up. Like you just literally, I shared my screen and I read that, and I didn't even know self-identified vampirism was a thing, and that in Idaho, southeastern Idaho, it's a massive subculture for it. What? Right. So, dude, great job tonight, man. I hope you have a fantastic Friday.
You too, brother.
All right. Cheers, bro. Thank you. Oh, my God. Speaking of that, I want to quickly, then I'm going to get to Polar Life Force next, but I want to show this because Secret Soul Survivor just brought up a good point. Do you remember Chris Whitcomb had said at the same time as the Idaho 4, there was a serial cannibalistic killer guy talking about how he did it? Yes. And I actually think that I clipped that. And I think I made a short about it. And it was where Chris goes, I can't tell you how much of a bad guy this is. It's right here. Oops. Can you guys hear that or not? Oh, shit. Thank you. Sorry. 1 second. Why does that happen sometimes? I'll reshare it. This is quick, and then let me just. All right. Let me just find that real quick.
Person of interest who became a suspect in this that is never surfaced.
All right, here we go. Let me get it reset. full screen. It's a short clip.
Person of interest who became a suspect in this that has never surfaced. And there was a woman who met a guy on a social media, like a dating site. You can't comprehend what a bad guy this is, right? At least maybe it was a fantasy. Maybe it was some kind of a role play in some kind of romantic thing. But this guy is saying, I was on vacation and I had this girl over and I killed her and I ate her for barbecue. I have everything, screenshots of all the communications, photos of him playing golf, all this stuff. This book is missing 25 pages.
I mean, that's honestly when I hear him saying that. I mean, maybe there was a person of interest who was a self-identified vampire. For Christ's sake, you learn something new every day. Okay, next up, we got Polar Life Force. Polar Life Force, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What'd you think of that last call?
Okay, so if like tonight was ever like this, I don't know how to put it, but basically this is like the best night for me to call because I don't know, clearly I just love the open-mindedness and which it brings up Odinism, with Richard Allen, and he kept bringing up Odinism. I think he was a very targeted person because of who he was and his personality and his extreme anxiety. And I think he was scared to death in that whole case, especially in there. He's talking about, seeing, people are looking up tattoos on the guards and stuff like that. And I looked it up, like what religions are practiced within the prisons, and Odinism is one of them. So, it seems to be I didn't know anything about it until the Delphi case. So, it's not, it's like shocking, but it's also not shocking. Vampires, yeah. I mean, there's been vampire murderers before, so.
What's crazy that you just brought up the Odinism thing too is it's also used a lot in like white supremacist gangs.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and if they want somebody to shut up, they're going to make that happen.
And there's sacrifices, there's animalistic sacrifices, goats.
Yeah. Yep.
So that is crazy timing that you were going to talk about that tonight.
So that even wasn't even my main topic. I was like, all right, I'm going to go on here. Tonight was like the best night because, just like, I've been in some trouble myself, and I've seen my friends and even personally my boyfriend this past weekend had a very weird situation happen to him. And it just validates all my beliefs of how corrupt our systems are. I have faced corruption personally within the family court systems and with, being arrested for very minor things, whatever it is, what it is. But this past weekend, he's serving like weekend jail. He does community service and weekend jail for whatever. But and he got ready to get out on Sunday, and the guard stopped him as he was getting ready to walk out the door and said, "You're not going anywhere." And he's like, yeah, what do you mean? Like, my weekend's over here. It's time for me to go to work tomorrow. And he says, "You have a warrant out in another county." And he says, "What do you mean?" They couldn't tell him what the warrant was for. I ended up calling because I noticed he wasn't calling me at all for his ride. And they told me the same thing. Well, he's not getting out tonight. They claim over in this county, he's got a warrant out for his arrest. And I was like, for what? They claimed a suspended license. I said, he paid that a long time ago, so I don't understand. Quick to the point, we get down to the nitty gritty. I had to go down there and, $580 to bail him out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because they were going to let him sit in there at a minimum of 5 days. They were telling me that he would see a judge in the morning, but we weren't sure, and he's got to work. So we just did that, and he got on the horn the next morning and went through a slew of people between both counties that were going back and forth. And we're getting our money back because he was so on it. Like, I couldn't believe the work that he did within 2 hours of getting down to the nitty gritty and getting somebody on the phone to tell him what the F was actually going on here, because they couldn't tell him what the warrant was for no reason. He had a warrant on there. They don't know why. They saw it was paid for in the suspended license. He's just randomly in there. So
when I hear stuff like that, when I hear stuff like that, and especially to have it resolved so quickly, what goes through my mind is, what if, so knowing how quickly it could have gotten resolved, what if you didn't take that first step? Or what if he wasn't motivated? He's like, or what if he didn't have a job, right? And he's just like, oh, it doesn't really matter. Or like,
So
okay,
yeah, I'll just stay here, right?
yeah. And then he gets into a fight and he knocks somebody
Right.
out and they fall
And I
and they
worry
die.
about that because he's a mouthy guy. So, I'm sitting here thinking like, and I guarantee you, he's mouthed off to the police there before. I know for this particular incident, excuse me for anybody who might be offended, but he called one of the officers retarded because he didn't memorize the Miranda rights. I don't know. He was just mad.
I mean, so
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that when you're there. I can't help it.
Right. That's crazy. And so he gets out then, and it was just, they say they gave you the money back? And it was just like, oh,
They're giving us the money back. They said that we should get it next week. He had to fight the other county for the $80 fee they charged us. He's getting that back. But nobody can still tell us why that warrant was there or what it was for. And it makes me think like, what if, oh, we got police.
At your house?
No, I think it's like a police ambulance or something. So I don't know if we're
heard
going to be
that.
left.
I'm not going to lie, Polar Life Force. I heard that and I thought to myself, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. And then you just said that. I'm like, there's no way that they actually were just, you're on the phone.
No, they just came down my street.
Oh, man.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Must be a warrant out for my arrest.
That's what I thought. I'm like, uh-oh.
But that's what I mean. Things are getting crazy when it comes to that. And people, I feel like Brian Koberger, I firmly believe he didn't do it. Could I, be convinced that he did if there was actual proof? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not fighting to death for I just want the truth. But he does appear to be an awkward person. And I do feel like people like that get targeted. I feel like I get targeted in that way. I've been taken advantage of by the system so many times. And because I don't have the money to pay things off to them and other people do, whether it be attorneys and stuff like that, it's a bitch. And I tell you, and that's where you got to follow. It's the money. All of it connects to money and, secrecy and stuff like that because they have their own background thing going on. So, the other thing I was going to say with technology too, it's getting really messed up. They're using AI to recognize faces, to pull up warrants on people. I had turned myself in for, it was a ticket that I missed a payment on. And so I just turned myself in, went through the process, and they didn't take my fingerprints. They scanned my irises.
Oh, I never do that at the airport. I always opt out. I don't think
you
I've
don't got
had
an option in jail.
Yeah, true.
So, that's what I mean. And basically, the more and more this case goes on, I just see the more and more corruption connected to it. I think it's a wide range of corruption. I think a lot of people are tied together with that, especially with the police, and the university, and these judges and attorneys. They all went to school together. They all work together. They're all buddies, And I've seen, I've just seen it, in things that I had to deal with.
Yeah.
And I actually I follow a lot of things on family court systems because that's one of the systems that are very corrupt, where children are going to, people's abusers, either, one parent or another. And it's because that parent has more money. It's crappy.
It is crappy.
So, but yeah, I think that's mostly the point that I had. Belamicia was like right on top of that. Like, I was like, hell yeah, like all of that. What she is saying right now is so freaking true. It is so messed up. I think we're in a world where we're battling good versus evil now. And it's like people like you in this group and the Discord, everybody that is supporting this channel, just need to keep doing it because this is the most I've ever heard people talk about these things, because you wouldn't know it's happening unless it's happened to you, or you've heard it from enough people that it's happened to.
Amen. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. And
thank you. I didn't take my night aids tonight just for this. The first time I called,
funny.
I was so tired, it like zoned out.
Oh, that's funny. Luda said all gas, no brakes. Oh, that's funny. Well, Polar Life Force, I always appreciate seeing you in the chat. Thank you so much for the call. I'm glad your husband's out of jail. I'm glad you got
Hell
your money
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And I hope you have an awesome rest of your evening.
Thank you. You too, Birdie.
Yep. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. Next up, man, you guys are awesome. Next up, we got Heart of Gold. Heart of Gold, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
I'm doing great. What do you got for us this evening?
Hive, hit the like button. It's not at 1,000 yet. Okay.
Thank you.
So now I have to follow everybody that was talking. And the first thing I want to say is Making a Murderer. I forgot his name now. What's his name?
Stephen Avery.
Stephen Avery. He is innocent too.
I personally agree. I think there was some shicey stuff that would have corrupted, or not corrupted, that would have bankrupted the Manitowoc Police Department. He was going to get a lot of money.
But this is how I'll tell you how he is innocent. There's only one thing. If you watch that whole thing, and even if you thought that they planted the key or they didn't find blood, the only thing that says that he's innocent is when that cop called on his cell phone to the dispatcher and said, "Hey, what is this license plate number and who does it belong to?" And they said, "Oh, that belongs to this girl, blah 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 blah." I forgot her name. And then
what is her name? Shoot.
What is her name?
I'm gonna look this up. I feel
Yeah,
terrible.
look it up. And the dispatcher said, "Oh, that belongs to this missing girl." And then he goes,
Teresa Halbach.
Yep, Teresa Halbach. And then when they found the car, the license plate was missing. So right there tells you that that police officer found that car with the license plate on it. And then all of a sudden, when they found the vehicle, the license plate was missing. So they knew long before that car had the license plate on it. And
You're
somehow they separated it.
I remember that. And that show came out during COVID when there was like nothing to do. I watched every episode so intently. That and Tiger King.
I didn't watch Tiger King. Everybody watched that.
Oh, Tiger King. I feel like Tiger King and Making a Murderer were like my two COVID shows.
Yep. I watched what was that show with the 5 guys? There was 5 guys with the Wahlburger.
Wahlburgers. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. I didn't watch that.
Anyways, my second thing I want to say to everybody in the Hive, know your rights. Know all of your amendments, know all your rights, because you would not believe how many people are like now understanding their rights, their 4th Amendment right, search and seizure and all that, and are like making cops holding them accountable, suing for like they can pull you over, they can't hold you longer than it would to, longer than the stop and that sort of thing. If you have heard of this whole Lego thing that's going around viral on the internet, after this is all over with that Reckless Ben or whatever his name is, he is going to be a billionaire because he is going to sue that county out of oblivion because how many times they've arrested him and they have broken his rights so many times for him being arrested, and now they have made it so he can't even talk about it on the internet his channel.
I recognize
or
this guy
anything.
now. Yeah, I recognize this guy.
Yeah, they've arrested him for so many. Now he's in Mexico because like they have arrested him so many times for dumb things, and it's just wild. It's just crazy. So know your rights, like know what they can and cannot do, and that you have a right to remain silent for a reason. Use that. Don't say shit. Okay.
Yep.
So
Great.
back
Well said.
so back to my, because I just know, like I think I said this before, like I have a friend right now who's been in prison for 11 years. He's still waiting on his habeas corpus that he's been waiting on for like 5 years, for a murder homicide that he didn't commit. He got 110 years and he's still waiting on that. And they're just, the court system is just like, it takes a second to get into prison. It takes many, many years. So even Brian Koberger, who didn't commit this horrific crime, even if he gets his PCR and that doesn't work, and then he can do the habeas corpus, it could take 10, 15 years. That's why all these guys, well, even like Chris Tapp, like, you know, rest in peace to him. I mean, he was in there like what, 30 years or 26 years or something before he was finally exonerated. It's
And
just horrible.
It is just horrible because I know even just for DNA related crimes, the average time, now you can say DNA's caught up, so ideally this goes quicker, but I want to say it's like 11 years. If you're wrongfully convicted on DNA, the average time it takes to overturn that case is like over a decade.
Well, and here's the thing about DNA too, is that, so let's say all this DNA that was found under all Maddie's nails, that wasn't Koberger's, Xana's, Ethan's, all four of the victims have DNA that was not, they, you know, they or checked it against 17 people, you know, the Jacks and Cole and all those people, and it wasn't theirs. It wasn't Brian Koberger's. So
Right.
when they finally figure out who it actually belongs to, if they, I mean, Brian could get exonerated, and then Moscow might just go, well, it was him, and that they just might close the case, right? And never even investigate it again. They might just go, oh, well, we still think he was guilty and he just got off on a technicality, and they just might leave it at that. Unless the gang, you know, Kaylee's parents go, no, you need to still, you know, fight for it or whatever. But even so, it's not going to be Moscow City that pays for the DNA. So my friend he was arrested back in 87. He spent 14 years in prison. The only reason why he got exonerated is because some millionaire in like New York City paid for the DNA, which cost $6,000 for them to test it. So unless somebody with a lot of money, just $6,000 hanging out in their pocket, pays for that DNA test, it's not like the Moscow County will pay.
Taxpayers. Yeah.
Right. It has to be somebody that will step up, or they donate to the Innocence Project or something. So if they don't have the money to pay for it, then you'll sit in there even longer.
Which is just, it's like, I've said this a couple times, but have you heard the quote, there's no rich men on death row?
Yep.
It's just, and then you hear about, you know, it's $6,000 to like test this DNA and stuff. And even for the counties, if that is taxpayer money, how many times are they running the DNA swabs? And just get it right. Just get it right. And if something is not 100% accurate, which is crazy to think about for DNA, right? Like, I don't know how DNA isn't, like, I don't get how DNA could be misinterpreted so often and it takes so long. It's a tragedy. Honestly, it's terrible.
I don't understand how it's so expensive. To me, it's like, haven't you already purchased the equipment?
Yeah, if you spit into a tube, it's like $50.
Well, and you already, like, I'm only going off what I see like on TV and shit. So, but you've already purchased whatever it costs, $1 million or whatever it costs for that little equipment to spin it or whatever, right? So why is it still like $10,000 to, you know, to spin it and figure out whose DNA it is? I don't know.
Well,
that's
it's
not
a
my
great question.
Okay, so quick 2 quick things.
Okay.
So the guy on the 1112 camera that gets the hell out of Dodge at 11:10. Why is nobody talking about him or trying to figure out who he is and why he's in such a hurry to get in that gray truck before the police get there? And does he know something? And why is he in a hurry to get the hell out of Dodge so quickly?
What
And
time did you say it was?
At 11:10 p.m.
Oh,
I mean,
11:10 p.m.?
no,
Oh,
AM.
yeah.
AM.
Yeah.
So it's right before the police get there. He's at the 1118 in that blue house, right?
Yep.
So I get like he is probably going home for Thanksgiving or whatever.
It's
But we all
playing right
know
now,
that.
but it's muted.
So we all know that.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
11 at 11:08 or whatever, his parents are like backed up to.
Right here.
Did they pull up or did they? How come I don't?
I was too far ahead. So here's everybody at 11:07. They're loading the truck.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so he pulls that bin out, and then his parents get in that truck, and then him and that girl get into like a maroon SUV and follow them out. So who is that guy? Did he have anything to do with it? Why has nobody tried to find him? Because obviously he was trying to get the hell out of Dodge before like the police came. We all know that everybody knew about all this stuff and the murders by like 10:30, from what like Jack says or Hunter says, and all the people at the White say. So did this guy have anything to do with it? And then that's why he's getting the hell out of Dodge before anything shows up. Who is this guy? I mean, he could have snuck out of
questioned.
Yeah, because of course he wasn't questioned because he wasn't even there, right? When the police arrived.
Right. I can tell you this. If I was a detective and you think about 11:59, 11:58, right? The call comes in and I'm watching security footage and I'm like, wow, an hour before the 911 call for an unconscious person, you see loading up a truck. Maybe we should go talk to that guy.
Yeah, and find out who he was. Like, obviously he's going home for the holidays, but who is this guy and why is he getting the hell out of Dodge, right?
Right. It's a great question. What was the second point?
Oh, my other thing is also that Hayden guy that was at the grub truck with the bump on his head at 3:30. Like, is he ever questioned? Like, his clothes are changed at 3:30 a.m.
I don't think there's an interview out of him yet, but that would be interesting if.
Because his clothes are changed. He has different pants on, different shoes on. He has a bump on his head. And everybody mentions it, but no one ever says, like, and he's got long hair. I don't know if it's light enough, but every single person in that house had hair in their hands or on the bed. So Xana had hair, Maddie had hair, Kaylee had hair.
True. It's a great question. Everybody should have been questioned, in my opinion. So whenever we're like, were they questioned? It's like, it should be questioned. They should be, and it should be not redacted unless it's, addresses, things like that. Normal, reasonable stuff.
Right. No doxing, but anything like that should be like questioned. I just think like some of these people, especially this guy that lives right next door to them.
I agree with you on that.
Right.
And it is sketchy. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your evening too, Heart of Gold.
And congratulations on the baby. I just had my second grandbaby. And
congratulations.
Another one. Well, I'm not having another one, thank God. But we're having another baby in September. So we only have boys in our family. We have like 5 babies that are all boys. We don't know how to have girls. I don't know. Do you stand on your head? Or the mother stand on the head? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to ask Mrs. Birdie next time. But we haven't had a baby girl in our family for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So I have no idea. Yeah, our baby girl now, she'll be 25 this year. So
well, your family name is definitely spread far and wide after that.
Yep.
Well, that's exciting. Congratulations.
All right,
and I hope you have a great
Birdie.
weekend.
Have a good night.
Yep,
Bye.
you too. Bye-bye. All righty. I'm gonna bring up pretty much my time next. And I can't see the rest of your username, but you are now live. How are you doing?
Is that me?
Yep.
Okay, this is pretty much my tits are redacted.
Oh,
but I used to be Deb Gary. Yes, that's me.
I'm getting two new stress titties if you haven't heard yet.
I have. I'm so excited for you because you're gonna need them with that new baby.
That's true. That's true. That's true. What do you got for us tonight?
So a while ago, I sent you a super chat about my son. That he had a situation with the police, and it was a very interesting situation because he ended up going to a shop. I drove him. By the way, he's my oldest child and doesn't have a driver's license. I'm not proud of that, but I'm glad that he didn't at the time because we went to the shop one night and he went in and bought what he needed to buy and he left and I drove him home, which was like not even a half a mile from the house. And the police showed up at my door the next day looking for my child. And I said, he's not here. And they said, okay. And then all of a sudden I get a call from his boss at work saying that the police were just there and picked him up. By the way, he was a lawn maintenance guy at the time. So he's never in the same place twice. So how they found him and tracked him down and they cuffed him and put him in the cop car and took him to the police station. And they were basically bullying him and trying to get him to admit that he was the one that was in the store that night that stole $20,000. All he could think of was, I know my mom watches all these shows all these years, and I'm not opening my mouth and I'm just going to keep quiet. And he did. And they finally, after like 4 hours, let him go. And then the cops came back to my house and they saw the sweatpants that my husband happened to be wearing. And they started questioning him. And I was like, he never left the house that night. I was the one that left the house. I'm the one that drove my son to that store. And I watched him walk in because I know how the setup of the store was. I watched him walk in. I watched him walk out. I was like, you guys have the wrong person. And we all stuck to our guns. Like they were wanting to get one of us for this crime for $20,000 that was stolen out of the store that night. And I was like, no. And then 2 days later, they come back and they were like, can we come inside? And I was like, should I let him in? And I thought, you know what? I have nothing to hide. Let him in. And I let him in. And they were like, we really appreciate what you did. I was shocked because I really thought they were coming back for a second round. And I was like, I was ready to fight.
What did they
were
say
like,
specifically they appreciated?
They appreciated that we allowed them to speak to my son. And I was like, well, when they said that, I kind of giggled and I said, well, I didn't really let you speak to my son. You actually found him at his job, which is not the same location every single day because he's a lawn maintenance guy. So he works for like the Winco. By the way, this is Vancouver, Washington. So go figure. He does lawn maintenance for, works for a company that did the lawn maintenance throughout the different Wincos. So he's never at the same store every day. And they've actually found him at the one closest to our house. And they literally handcuffed him and put him in the car and sped him away. And his boss was like, they just took your son away in a cop car. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, what police station did they take him to? They're like, I don't know. They wouldn't give us that information. So then I just waited it out. I was like, Jamie's not going to open up his mouth. He's going to just stay quiet. Yeah. And he ain't going to say one word, period. He's not going to say nothing because he knows. And when those cops came back, and they started questioning, I looked at the cop and I just had this look on my face and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? You're now going to question him because he just happens to be wearing the same colored sweatpants that the dude that robbed the store for $20,000? I was like, no. Did he
That's
have the same
scary.
hair color? Because my husband doesn't have the same hair color as my son. My son has blonde hair. He has black hair and gray hair. So how is that a conflict? Like, you guys are just grasping at straws.
It also seems you could get in that situation too, where if somebody just, they're trying to help the cops and they go, I don't know, it could have, there was this person, and then you F up their life because you know in your head that you don't know for sure, but you feel like you're going to help more by just giving them anything. And then what do? They're like a dog on a bone and they don't let go. And now, like you just explained, your son, they try to question him, and now they're saying, well, what about him? And it's your husband who's like, he didn't even leave the house. And so it could be that easy that these cops don't let it go.
Yeah. And then they came
terrifying.
back. I don't know if they ever even found the guy, but like they came back and they were like, well, we appreciate you guys for being, so cooperative. And I'm thinking, yeah, but if you guys were on the flip side, like the Idahos or like the other corruptions that are out there in Indiana and Massachusetts and Arizona, and I mean, you can go down the laundry list of places, like they could have both ended up in jail at that point and said that they were both there that night and they both were the ones that robbed the store for $20,000. And it's like, this is unreal.
That's crazy.
How
Inside
the
job is what
corruption
somebody
is,
said.
unreal what these people do. But I just wanted to let you know that because I told you a while ago that I was going to tell you the story. And of course, I'm not in Discord, unfortunately, because I don't know how to work. And I'm sorry, Birdie, but
that's okay. That's okay. It's easy. It is easy.
I will see if one of my kids will help me get onto it so I can figure it out.
Yeah, because really what it is it's like our own chat room. It's like I call it like a 24/7 headquarters for the Hive. So it's cool. There's different topics that you can go into. So like there's the case chat, there's other cases in there, there's documents and videos, Hive Mind finds, and you can kind of like pop into whatever, like how the chat is here, but you could post links and videos. So it's kind of cool. You could pick and choose what topic you want to talk about.
Okay, well, I'll see if one of my kids can help me figure it out so I can get in there because, yeah, I've been watching you for a hot minute and you're amazing. So is Lana, and so are all those other creators out there that are trying to get to the truth. That's all we want is the truth. And, whether he's guilty or not, I mean, do I think he's guilty? Probably not. But, I mean, that's my own personal opinion.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I mean, it is what it is. And hopefully we can get to the truth because that's what needs to be out there is the actual truth.
No matter whose feelings it hurts, no matter how bad the media looks, we need the truth. Well said.
1000%.
I'm going to say your full username, pretty much redact my tits. Thank you so much for the epic call. I hope you have an awesome Friday night.
You as well. Stay safe, Birdie, and congratulations on your little one.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's awesome. All righty. Next up, we got Detective Mowry, but I can't click on it because it's device not connected. Oh, there it is. Every time he does that. Detective Mowry, how are you doing this evening?
Oh my God, Birdie, I'm just doing so good, my friend.
That's awesome to hear. Why are you so good? And
I'm not. I'm freaking exhausted.
Oh, what do you got for us this evening?
Ready for this? MFK, and you get Ashley Jennings, Hippler, and Payne. Go.
Well, I can't answer that. That's not fair.
You have. That's the game.
I'm not answering it. I'm not answering it.
Now it's a conspiracy. You got to answer it.
I'll let that one be a conspiracy. I'm okay with that one being a conspiracy. That's funny, man. What do you got for us? I'm always curious for your calls. I feel like you got really good points that you've seen, or you've in the past tied other cases and some paperwork and rules into or laws into it. Anything new like that?
Well, I have. It's what I wrote my essay on to get accepted into law school last month. So,
congratulations.
It is. Yeah, class of 2030. Shit. Dude.
Hey, it'll happen quick, man. So what did you write that paper
anyways,
on? Or does it relate? I guess you don't have to say if it's besides the point, but
it's not. It could be part of it, could not. It's basically the ethics or gamesmanship of filing a general or special demurrer, and whether that can be an IAC claim or not. Which a special demurrer or a general demurrer is basically once they charge you for a crime and they see the jury, you can plead guilty to everything that has been charged in that crime. And if you do, it's been past the statute of limitations or they can't prove it, they have to dismiss the case with prejudice. And
wow.
And so with the IAC claim, like some are arguing, like if your lawyer doesn't wait to seat the jury before they file it, then they're not a good lawyer, because if they just waited till the jury was seated, it gets dismissed with prejudice and they never file it again. It's done. And so
interesting.
There's been some cases in Georgia that recently got done like that, a couple cases in Texas that got done like that. And so it'd be interesting to see, because of the burglary charge, how things could have manifested once a jury was seated, if he was able to plead guilty at least to some and part of that, and then it gets dismissed because he actually wasn't the one that did it, and they can't retry him. So
right, okay, I'm
it's
following you. That's interesting.
Kind of an obscure concept, but the people in the legal world are starting to use it more, kind of the strategic gamesmanship, and people are like, is that ethical or not so ethical? They really haven't laid out a good opinion yet, but it's
interesting.
It really is. If you're a nerd, it's a real interesting.
That's cool, man. Anything about this case?
I haven't gotten anything else, man. I don't think you're gonna get anything else. You keep getting these trickles. All the stuff you want is guarded behind a black wall of TUI requests. So,
I unfortunately, in regards to some of the evidence, I don't disagree. I think there's no way they're going to let some of it out, right? Like the untested male DNA, I don't think that'll ever see the light of day. I don't think anything about.
Do you think it was tested? So a TUI request is it's basically a subpoena to the federal government to provide materials or information. And so the first thing I see is Ethan and Xana, the fact that the prosecutors in Idaho don't have that information, like, of course the federal government has that, and of course they haven't turned it over. So, I mean,
yeah,
that's what I behind.
Yeah, I guess I'm just generalizing too. Like, I don't think they're ever going to release the audio of 1112. I just think that there's certain things that they won't ever release, no matter how big of a legal battle ensues, unless we see somehow, Brian Koberger does get exonerated. Would they ever even then still release it? Because you got to think, if this guy gets exonerated, then they show all that too. And they're going to be like, what the hell just happened? I mean, this was so obvious, and it looks way worse at that point. You know what I'm saying? And people will actually have the confidence to speak it out loud,
Well, you're going to have some giant balls on a government whistleblower who's willing to release those files and then get prosecuted for releasing those files before any of that happens. So,
yeah, yes, I agree. Well, dude, I don't want to cut you short, but I appreciate the call. I got a full backstage, and I want to try to get to everybody, but I hope you have a great weekend.
I'm gonna send you a tinfoil onesie for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm going to. I'll take all the tinfoil or conspiracy theory baby shirts I can get.
Absolutely.
You have a good one, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Peace. All righty. Next up, we got we got Shannon, aka High Knees, and I can't see the rest of it, but I saw it in the chat earlier, and I can't remember the name because it's a newer name. But how are you doing?
What up, cuz?
What up, cuh? What is your, because you just recently changed that username, right? Or the screen name?
Yeah, I was Shannon TN Gal.
Okay.
I've been
And now it's
asking for a good name, and finally it just came to me. And
what is the
it's
full name? It's Chinese.
getting my high knees right, cuh. Yeah, I figured it fit me. I mean, I'm in a
That's funny.
wheelchair, so my knees aren't very high.
Oh wow, that's I hate that's good humor. That's good humor, and I like the cut at the end. I see formerly known as Beck and you dropping the get right cut all of the time in the chat.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Bertie, I don't have anything really. I actually need something.
Okay, what can I do for you?
Okay, so I have some nodules on my thyroid and on both sides. And I just need some prayers for me. That's all. My next step is for a needle biopsy. And, I'm up there in years. So, yeah, that's what I need. I need my Hive people to rally up and pray for me.
We absolutely will. And Shannon, I'm wishing you the best with that. I mean, that stuff's always so scary, and I will pray for you tonight. I will let Mrs. Birdie know as well. We will absolutely keep you in our prayers, Shannon, as I know many people in here will as well. It's a scary thing, but
yeah.
I wish I had more words. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's not real good, especially for my family. Everybody has died pretty young because of cancer, so that's what made me quit smoking years ago. So, but you can't always, they say that you can't pick your friends, and I mean, you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family or their background. So, that's just what I have to face. But yeah, I thought I'd come up and let you know I did get a username finally, and I love my username. It's pretty fun.
It is a fun username, and I just got to say that you're going to get a lot of prayers, and I pray that everything works out for you, Shannon. Honestly, that's
thank you, Bertie. I love you. I love the Hive. I love being part of this community. You guys mean a whole lot to me.
Well, you mean a lot to us too, and I think that
congratulations on your baby.
Thank you. And I think too, it takes a lot to even just call in and say that and request that, and that is powerful. And I appreciate the kind words. I mean, you got a freaking lump in my throat right now, Shannon, and I'm
sorry.
Man. No. I'm glad you did this because I think it brings a realness factor. It also shows how close the community is. So
yeah,
we'll be praying for you. And I hope you have
so much.
I hope you have a fantastic evening.
You also. Bye-bye.
Bye. All righty. Next up, we have Mallory. Mallory, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. As someone cutting onions is right. That was powerful there from Shannon. But nonetheless, we will pray for her. How are you doing this evening? What do you got for us?
I'm all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm actually a local.
Okay.
I'm about 25 minutes from Moscow. It's weird because my sister is a graduate and I partied there so many times.
At King Road or just Idaho?
Just up at the frat. Well, I didn't go into the frats, but
okay.
Just I was outside of them. But
okay.
I have like 5 to 7 family members that are Idaho grads, and well, I will say that one of them, my uncle, became a judge, and if you are a lawyer in Idaho, you got your degree in at the UI.
Okay,
Like,
so what do you know right now? I feel like you're talking very carefully, and you got my attention. What do you know?
I don't necessarily know something. I'm close to the case because I know somebody that was the first on scene, and no, she won't talk, so she takes her oath very seriously. But it's crazy because like you have pictures that you post that I can see her.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know her? Just friends or family? Or
She's my mom.
What?
So the picture that is the front of the house, and there's the two investigators.
Yeah.
Or there's two cops, and then there's a lady with purple hair.
Yes.
That's my mom.
Holy hell.
I don't want to put her on blast, but
has she said stuff to you about any of this?
No, absolutely
yeah.
not.
And I don't expect you to actually. That was a stupid question. For you to
I
say
know, I
in
know.
front of everybody.
And people ask that all the time, and are like, "Your mom's on Dateline." Like it's wild, but no, she takes it very seriously, and like I even feel kind of bad saying something. But
well,
I
I think that
before.
Well, I'll give you credit and your mother credit. Hearing you say she takes her oath very serious as her daughter, right? I feel like, and especially with you looking into the case, like when I hear that, I always feel like, okay, if you're going to take an oath, you take an oath. Do you know what I mean? Like and if there is an agreement, or if there is something that was said as far as what her situation is, and she did nothing nefarious or nothing wrong, right? Then I totally respect that.
Well, and I see her like stuff on, like I see stuff come up with her name or whatever, and like I don't, like I said, she won't talk. So I want to ask things like, do you ever like scribe for the cops? Do you ever, because like I've seen the handwriting, and like I'm like pretty sure.
Shut up.
But she won't answer me. But yeah, the handwriting on one of the documents. So, but she is retired now. But
did she retire right after the case?
It wasn't complete yet. And I've often wondered about the timing. Because my mom, she's such an honest human being. And so like I don't know, I just wonder, but because like I don't think she knows how I feel. That like I think they've got it wrong. I think that pretty much everything that you think, I think. Like I think that there's very deep corruption, and that it's more on the university side. Basically, like these kids have been told they're not allowed to haze. Like it's supposed to be off limits, and so I'm sure they know that they still do it, because it's like, hey, no drinking and driving, but we all do it, kind of thing. Not we, but
I get what you mean. Yeah.
And so when something comes up that they can't just sweep under the rug, they have to call in reinforcements. Like the president of the university has to call, his buddy at the police department and say, okay, help me. That's what I think.
Wait, say that again. So you're saying that you said more on the university side, and you're saying that who would call his policeman buddy?
Like the president of the university, or like whoever the higher up, because they're friends with so and so, or they're like the especially with Greek Row, like the family connections are very deep. Like if your dad was Sigma Chi and you're Sigma Chi, then they're very, dad's very proud of you, type thing.
So are you, before I ask you this, are you willing to answer just some questions as a local? Okay. So you got to give us your background, and I'll respect that with, I believe you that your mom won't talk about it. Okay. So can I ask you just some other local questions?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about like offering people, like, if they want me to like show them like what it looks like to drive into Moscow, or like what it looks like, you know.
Did you email me about that or no? Maybe
I know
not.
I talked to Jules about it, but I
Oh,
don't know. Anyway,
well, I'm so down to have you do that. Or if you want to, like, if there's a way that we can get you, I can get you a StreamYard link and you could do it live. That would be cool.
yeah,
So can you send me an email after we get done or at some point this weekend, birdieshivemind@gmail.com, because that would be very interesting.
sure.
Thank you for willing to do that. And my question for you is, what do you think that all of us who are not from Moscow and have never really partied there, we're just bystanders thousands of miles away trying to find the truth. What is it that we don't understand about that area and about the inner workings socially that you wouldn't understand unless you were out there?
Well, I know when I heard like the partying noises, and the singing and all that, and people saying, "Oh, you didn't hear anything," kind of whatever. When you are so used to those noises, you stop hearing things. Like, even as someone who lives in an apartment, I can't always hear my front door when I'm in the back.
I see what
So,
you're saying.
I don't think that's just in Moscow that's like that, but just remembering that, like, it is possible. Not okay, maybe not homicide, but like just when you're used to banging, or even like, for instance, the other night I scared my son and he screamed like a little bitch, and like like and it sounded like a genuine scream. So someone could mistake that for someone being in trouble, or think
That's a good
nothing of
point.
it because it was whatever. So and then like, I don't know, the grub truck was very like almost nostalgic, like how people were standing around and walking places, or
Yeah. Have you heard rumors of who did this?
no. Mm-mm.
Is anybody out there talk about this anymore?
Um,
Like the majority of people, like I'm saying, like as far as like if I was to ever go there, like let's say Birdie goes out there and he goes to, I'll just say the Magritte, right, Corner Club, and I'm like, oh yeah, pretty wild. What happened here a few years ago? Just as somebody who's in town, do people respond? Do they tell you to shut the hell up? What
I
would that
think
be?
people would still want to talk about how, like, our 15 minutes of fame type thing.
Okay.
Like the things that Idaho is known for right now are not exactly the greatest. Like, what's the crazy mom and this, and
Idaho's on the map, for
right?
sure.
Like, that's not the best. But
Do you have a
I
theory?
think, what's that?
Do you have a theory?
Yeah. Oh, I totally think this is frat. Something. I mean, the hazing, or Dylan's revenge for hazing. Possibly, I don't think the cartel was involved, but they might have like owed somebody money. Also, like,
Could
Kaylee
they have?
stole that. She
Oh, I'm
stole
sorry.
that car, and she apparently had the cash on her. Where was that cash?
It's a good question. I've heard people ask that before too. As far as, is that what the burglary charge is? Right.
Well, yeah, no one's ever talked about like her pockets being turned inside out, or like, I mean, God, I wish she wouldn't have taken it to the club with her, but
That's so crazy, because what was it, like 6,500 cash or $7,000 cash or something
yeah,
like
no
that?
one's talked about it.
Yeah, that is weird. And I know that burglary is just if you enter someone's home in the state of Idaho on, right? Like, so if obviously if you went in and you committed a murder, like you're going to get the burglary charge. We kind of broke that down on how that charge then did make Dylan and Bethany victims of said crime. And there's victim protection laws in Idaho. So whether it was intentional or not that they kept that on there, even if Brian pled, do they ever drop lesser charges? And they chose to not, because Dylan and Bethany then get said protections. You know what I mean? There's another legal barrier for the surviving roommates.
And we all have watched, I think if we're into this, we've watched true crime shows, and we know that, like, The questions were terrible.
Terrible.
And so this nothing happens in Moscow thing is like, it's kind of sarcastic, but also I know people get like frustrated about it, but like it's true in the sense that like the cops had no idea what they were doing, because it's not like Chicago, like, or even Spokane, Washington, like they're doing homicides every day. That's 2 hours north of me, and it's not, I mean, nothing like that, just 2 hours away. And so yeah, they were amateurs.
I agree with you on that. Well, and has your mom ever commented on that? Does she, I hate to keep going back to your mom, but I'm just
so she was not Moscow. She would have been with the state, and
with the ISP.
Yeah, and they have been given more credit for like holding it together, I think, than anybody else. Like even like Chris Whitcomb or whatever.
Yep.
Said. I mean, at least of the murders in Idaho that are handled, it's usually gets passed to the state. So I guess the only thing is, been said is that more like they were the ones holding it together.
I mean, I think they were. So do you know, in the past, has your mom worked closely with the FBI somewhat regularly? And what was do you mind me asking, like, as far as like your mom's title, not necessarily title, but was she like a crime scene investigator? Was she a detective?
She's like an office person in investigations. So like going on scene wouldn't be normal for her, but because she had 20 years experience, like, and it was a big, like, she was watching football that day. And I got chills.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so like, you know how they said Brian came down to Albertsons and whatever that day, like that, he came down to where I live. So he was like by the Walmart that I go to every week, and like.
Do you know Brian Kober? You ever ran into him by chance?
No.
That would make me lose my mind. I'd be like, that's crazy.
But you know what I did? When I found out like that he had been there, whatever, I checked my own Google Maps to see, did I go to Walmart that day? Because
did you?
Sunday Walmart trip would be a normal thing, but I didn't.
Oh, that would be crazy.
When I see that Costco, I'm like, that's my Costco.
Oh, that's got to be trippy to think about.
It is. It's so weird. So, and I've never seen that house, and like when I look at the aerial view and stuff, I'm like, I don't know. I guess I don't think of things that way. So
that's crazy. Well, can you make me a promise right now?
Sure.
Okay. And with the Hive as my witness, if your mom ever gets this inkling that she's like, I want to blow the whistle on some shit, tell her to take the right steps and do everything properly, and then I will gladly do whatever I can to help push that message out there.
I almost feel like she would be the kind of person who would like put her hands over her ears and go la 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 la, like she doesn't want to hear it.
That's how my mom is too. She's like, don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Oh, that's crazy. Well, thank you for calling in and sharing that with us. That's super interesting. Now I'm sure, I mean, I'm curious. I'm definitely going to go back through the photos and be like, okay, which one is she talking
about? You use it a lot.
I already know which one it is.
Yeah. And then really fast, you might already know this, but Custody Queens or whatever, they had that speech analysis guy on.
What's his name again? Travis.
Travis, yeah. And it's really interesting because like he says Dylan's bullshit. She's guilty as all hell. Like that's basically his analysis.
I've like tried to piece it together. I'm kind of like, I'll throw it on kind of randomly when I'm driving if I'm not on the phone or something, and I'll kind of like listen to 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. Right. So I haven't gotten all the way through it, but it is interesting. And I've seen the whole linguistic dynamic of it. I'm surprised that it really took as long as it has. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily that people hadn't done it before, but I feel like now, like a lot more people are open to analysis on Dylan's way that she talks.
I hear more of the body language stuff too, but I didn't see as many clues with body language. Maybe.
Well, they got her whole thing blurred out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that too. Well, and then of course with her speech, it's redacted, and so you have to
take that
on.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. I will check that out. Yeah, I would say keep that in mind about your mom. And thank you so much for sharing that. If you ever hear anything, freaking call in. Okay. I want to know right away.
Okay.
All right. Well, I hope you have a fantastic Friday night. Thank you so much.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye. All righty, Hive. Next up, we got Fiji. And so I'm going to get Fiji up here on the stage. Oh, that was weird.
I got my echo.
Still got my echo.
Can you hear me? Oh, it's because these speakers are on.
Oh, you're good.
You're good. I got you.
Can you hear me now?
I got me.
Okay, hold on. Now can you hear me?
I could hear you the whole time. I could just hear myself. Oh, no, I can't. We're all good. Yeah. What do you got for us tonight, Fiji? How are you doing?
Okay, is that better?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, the speakers are on. So it's kind of a few different things. Conspiracy theory things, how things can get manipulated. I was just in the hospital. I had like major surgery. I had like an ulcer. I didn't know about that. The doctors weren't listening to me and it perforated. And long story short, so I had emergency surgery. I was in the hospital for 13 days and my medical records have been manipulated. So
what?
Seriously. Yeah.
That's So did you catch it yourself or did like a nurse catch it
No,
or what?
I've caught it myself because I've been investigating on stuff.
They tried to manipulate it in the way of they tried to say you needed certain tests done or take a certain medication or what?
Well, because a doctor, I went to the urologist and the urologist said, everything's fine here. So then go to the GI doctor and he missed it totally. And then I went into the ER and I sat there like in pain and the gas. So I can't pronounce it. Is it the it's right in the intestine. The
gastrointestinal?
Yeah, right down by your stomach. Is it the duotomy? It's right there. But anyways, is a hole. I had a hole blowing up, basically. And all the gases were blowing up. And so I couldn't breathe. And they kept telling me to relax for like almost 3 hours. And then they were training someone trying to put IVs in me. It was horrible.
What the hell? I would have lost my mind.
It was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It was a nightmare. And I was in the hospital for 13 days after they did this emergency surgery. But anyways, so.
Well, thank God you're here. That sounds crazy.
They told me I'm lucky to be alive. Luckily my partner was home, didn't work that day, because 2 more hours I would have been dead. But they manipulated my medical records. I have my originals documented, and then I went back in. They manipulated them. So
to show that they didn't miss it.
That in the ED that I wasn't in there that long. So
you gotta get it. Well, I don't know what if that's malpractice, if you could prove that or what that would even take. But that's a horror story for sure. Holy cow.
But just showing that there is conspiracy stuff that happens. So I don't know why my screen just did that, but I don't know if you can see me. It doesn't matter. But anyways, that's here nor there. But going back into the case, but things are manipulated. And so I look at the case and there's manipulation for sure with all of it. I do believe. I've thought all along that there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that has been all interconnected. And I thought a RICO case.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, and that could explain a lot of the redacting. That could explain why the case might be taking so long. They don't want to let anything public. It's a popular theory. It's out there. The RICO, the drug angle, they're wrapping up everybody
Well, all the people for the reason for me was all those 3-letter agencies there, and when the interviewing of Dylan and Bethany, the non-interviewing, I should say, the non-interviewing, I've never heard anything like it. I mean, the non-interviewing was just absolutely ridiculous. I, I, it, there's is ridiculous, and then now we've gotten there is no testing of this DNA of the hair samples and the blood. I mean, there was things that are just so out there that was just normal police procedure that you go, okay, what are they hiding? And so if you step back from this case, just take you take huge steps back from it and you go, huh, what's really going on here? Something is a lot bigger. And these two girls, you know, I feel like they were either highly in it, one of them, maybe both, or they've been pawns in it, one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the Gonzaleses too. They're thrown in it when they were at the crime con. So, I was listening to this stuff, when I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is interesting. They're at crime con and they're now with this man connected to this new foundation, which sounds like it could be a great foundation for help. But it's interesting. It's connected to, am I pronouncing it correctly? Otham, that laboratory.
Othram. Yep.
Thank you. And also some other laboratories. Also, that is maybe, nonprofits aren't really nonprofit, if that makes sense,
Yeah, especially depending on the one. I mean,
it's another way to launder money, just for people to know that. And or it could be, I should say. And I know the Facebook page takes you to a page to sign up for, $, sign in here. So I'm not sure how that will work because I would sure want to know, well, what the hell's going on? Whose hair was that? Whose blood was that? I mean, I'm so confused by that right there. That's confusing to me.
It's confusing too. I don't know if you can see the comment on your screen. Tiggy2514 brings up an ironic point that is people at CrimeCon complaining about YouTubers when CrimeCon was started by YouTubers.
Right.
There is a lot of hypocrisy too. It's so manipulative, gaslighting, whatever word you want to throw, on as a label. But the hypocrisy of, and I'm not even talking about just this case, just this one family. It's the echo chamber online about what you believe and not being open to changing your mind in general. It's a massive problem. And when it's a real life event, it's something that people could get to the bottom of if enough of them band together. We just are divided. It's the most maddening thing ever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we're very open to hearing all sides of stuff, all theories of stuff. And you try to reach across the aisle a little bit, if that's how you want to describe it. We just get, shut up. You're victim shaming. You're victim blaming. And I'm just like, you're never going to figure out anything with that mindset ever.
No. And if it was my child, I would want to know the truth. I would want to know the truth. And it would drive me crazy. I'd be sick to my stomach. So it's so confusing to me what's really going on, especially with them, especially with the two girls, those families. What really is going on there? And that's kind of where I would leave it there. What really happened there? And the van, remember where I said I saw it? I don't know. Someone had that video there at that one point where it showed two girls getting the video, or excuse me, in a van at that night. Do you remember that?
What camera?
I don't know.
If you find it, throw it in the Discord or email me it, because I feel
I
like
don't know.
it sounds familiar. Maybe somebody in the chat will know.
It was from a long, long time ago in the beginning, and it showed two girls getting in the van, and whatever NFL game was the next day that was happening, it was an East Coast game. One of the girls was wearing that NFL jersey, and it was two girls that looked like Kaylee and Maddie getting in a minivan, and they took off, and it was around that 2 a.m. time. And it was like right when it would have been Eric would have dropped them off. They got in the minivan.
Yeah, it's like kind of ringing a bell, but not well enough that I could say that I fully remember it. So if you find it, please send it to me. If anybody knows exactly what that is, because I'd be curious now to go back and look at that, as with many things in this case. But
and this is the other thing that is interesting to me, because the Gonzalez's also immediately wanted to go get, if you remember, all the camera footages that very next day, all around there. If you remember, they're gonna
Yeah.
go get immediately
Yes.
all the camera footages.
Yep.
Would that be the first thing that you would think of? I mean, I would be in shock that my daughter
Maybe.
died.
Well, of course, right? There's the shock, the emotional stuff of it, but I could see myself thinking of cameras. Yeah, I could. I would also think that I could expect myself to get the truth from the roommates that my daughter lived with.
I don't think I would be able to walk. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to walk right away, let alone go get camera footage.
Well,
Literally.
that's what you would hope for the detectives then, who don't have the emotional escalation to be able to think straight and go get it done. And Fiji, I'm gonna drop you down.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
good
two
talking
left.
to you. Yeah,
I'm
take
glad
care.
you're okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that, and it's good to see you. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye. Okay, Hive. Dude, this has been a hell of a call. I mean, this time has flown by for me. My voice is hanging in there. My throat feels decent right now. So I got 2 callers left. They've been waiting a while. I'm going to get through them. And then I got a ton of super chats. I'm excited to see all of the messages for that. So don't go anywhere, but try to get this wrapped up. We'll have a 3.5 hour freaking call in on a Friday night. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be spending this any other way right now. This has been epic. So shout out to you all. And let's have 2 last great callers. I got Think Again, While You, and then I got Annie. So they will be the last 2. Think Again While You Still Can, I'm guessing. Is that the full username?
Yes, it is, Birdie. How are you?
I'm doing great. What do you got for us?
Well, I just want to say thank you so much. My family has made you a household name.
Hey,
Yeah,
I love that.
no, hi Hive. It's been great. So, I don't know if I have like a theory as much as just going back to the beginning. And I remember very distinctly where Stacy Chapin, had specifically, she was giving a speech, and she had said that, the woman that heads up Othram, she had actually come to her and said, "Don't worry, we got him." And
Yes.
I just, that's always bothered me. It's always bothered me because obviously that's not the case. And so I just feel like, with this case, there's just so many things that are willfully turned away. I don't think it's a matter of incompetence as much as it is, a willful trying to masquerade as maybe incompetence, but it's just flat out corruption. And I feel like
Well
you have
said.
to have several of the groups, like in the very beginning, I remember some of the key people that I think came on the radar right away for all of us. And I think that's like where you go back to the beginning, because I think things can easily, be convoluted through the process of time. But I just feel like those same people actually, they haven't been eradicated from the scenario, they actually have more shade on them now, I feel like.
Well, I think that something that you just said perfectly was that they are masquerading corruption as incompetence.
Yes.
It's because that's one of the most frustrating part is there's bad police work, there's horrendous police work, and then there's this is so bad that when I'm watching this, it's like I can't prove it. I can't prove that this is corruption, but I'm telling you, it's one of those things where it's almost like you know it when you see it. It's like this is just not anything that you would expect to see, to hear, not just coming from the detectives or the police, but also the people that are sitting across from them.
Absolutely. No sense of urgency. I mean, because it's just bad acting. There's so many bad acting in the characters in this. But that was really it. I mean, those are just like the things that really stand out to us, and it can be so maddening. And then the other thing, I have never really thought that this was like I think the panic fighting, panic violence just in
Escalating. Yeah.
I just it's is way too there's too many elements for that. I mean, there's just too many things to have to cohesively come together in order to have pulled this off. And
there's an argument for there's an argument for all that. I agree. And I think I always appreciate too when people are like, I don't know if I see that, Birdie. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're great. I just wanted to say thank you again. I'm excited we got to have our first call in, and to the Shannon that called in, I wanted to say our family's praying for you. I'm Shannon too, and I'm the OG of my family. So, and we have I have 6 granddaughters, so we're a house of women with one grandson on the way.
That's crazy. He's gonna is he the youngest too? Obviously, if he's not born
No,
yet.
he'll be the baby. So I have one more son that needs to catch up to all of everybody. But congratulations on your baby girl.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And tell your family I said what's up. And hopefully I hear from you guys again. It'd be cool to have a family call in.
Absolutely, that would be fun.
Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Yep. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All righty. We got our last caller. We got Annie backstage. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring Annie on up. Annie, how are you doing?
Hello.
I got you loud and clear.
Hey. So I was just thinking about Dylan, and I don't agree. I agree that she's big because I think she's been transitioning, and I think that was some of the stuff that was earlier, like in the case and stuff. I heard that, but when I saw pictures on Bubbly Waters channel of her with the girls, she towers them by 2 feet. I mean, her feet, she's got a size 12 man's foot. Like she's got she's football. She can play football. That's the kind of like structure that she has, and she towers all of them. And I think that the male DNA that they found was probably that. But when you get to a certain level with these people, you have to do sacrifices. It's a must you sacrifice, or you won't go to the level. And that brings in
Masonic,
Ethan
like
and
Masons?
his family. Yeah, I mean, that, or even the sororities. You get some kind of prize, you get some kind of crown, like Ethan's sister did, or and it's just that's what you've got to do. I mean, how many celebrities have lost people I mean, Kanye West said, I gave up my mama for this shit. So
I'm glad you brought that part up, because the celebrity sacrifices of family members of people that
and sometimes they have to do it more than once. I mean, you'll hear about it at first, and then they'll get to the million club, and then they'll have to get to that when they hit that top, that 33rd degree, then they got to give some more, and they've got to lose another one. So they kind of spread it out, but you'll hear, oh, so and so's cousin died in a tragic shooting at his house, like, and he don't live in the hood, so why drive by, and he was just outside, boom. I mean, they usually know when they're going to do it, or they'll give him up. I mean, like like Kanye gave up his mom, and I mean, just go down the list of them and the 26 Club. I mean, they gave up themselves, so they didn't have to give up anybody. Or you transition a kid from male to female, female to male. That's
Well,
another way you can.
yeah. So I will like, that's obviously we're going probably past the point of like, if you're not as deep in it as probably you and I are, as far as how many
Well,
rabbit
yeah, I
holes
mean,
we've
but
gone
here's the
down.
deal.
But
It's time for people to wake up, because this is our situation. And if we don't, we're going to be in this timeline for a long time.
I
Because
agree with you.
people don't want their, oh no, you can never have corruption. That's all we have is corruption. That's all there is corruption. And it's being so shown right now, because it's time for us to go to a new horizon and get out of this system of believing that everything we've been told is a complete lie. Everything. So it's just time for a new mentality. And if you're not with it, then I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to get left behind, because it's all these conspiracy. And if you still think shit's a conspiracy in 2026 and you haven't been paying attention, you're probably a boomer, and you're probably not going to be around much longer anyways. And thank God, because I mean, I'm just saying, like, they're the reason we're in this shit. Them, and and the wars, they always want to get into wars, but that's the whole thing. But it's just like, okay, so they give up Ethan, and what does his sister Macy get? She gets princess of her sorority, and then they move to another level. And and I think it was sacrifice night. That's what it was. It was sacrifice night. And I think that maybe Dylan had her own issues, because she thought that she was going to be able to get into a sorority. But I think they found out she was a male, and I think they started treating her like shit. And because if you look at Idaho, they have the least LGBTQ rights. They don't give a fuck about it. They have the least rights for LGBT. They have rights to make sure you don't use their bathroom. They go that's far. They haven't done anything special, like, oh, because you're LGBTQ, we're going to give you all these like things. No, they take things away from you. I just looked up the statues. There's not a lot of them. They don't like it too much. So I think that she wasn't getting what she wanted with the group, and somebody probably found her sausage coming in the shower, and she probably lied about it, is what I'm thinking.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be
No, I'm
juvenile,
just
laugh at
like,
the way that you said
and then,
sausage, but
because she's a liar anyways. She's lied this whole time. So, even if she's a CI, who cares? She was in the house. She didn't tell anybody she was a man. People are going to have feelings about that, especially if you try to date one of them and you don't tell them the truth. So,
well, I think so. My takeaway from this is, one, I think that you hit the nail on the head with conspiracies are not that crazy in 2026. And I also think, from a standpoint of like all of the people that we have seen on TV, there is a pattern that you can look at for the stuff that you said with like familial sacrifices, or the 26 Club, where you'll die young because you don't you
either
choose to not.
somebody's going to die, because Baal, the god that they serve, he needs blood. He needs to. It goes all the way back to the Bible times, when they would sacrifice their children to Baal to get rain for crops and all that shit. It's right there in our head. We just don't want to think that it happens, but it happens to this day. They just find different ways to do it, but they're still doing the same shit, adrenochrome, the whole thing. They have to have this young blood to keep them, and that college age and younger, that's perfect for them. Sometimes they'll have a whole group of, like, just a whole group of them, and they'll make sure they get on a good diet and just take their blood to use it and give to their friends and make sure they stay young. There's Palantir. He has like six college kids that he keeps on on his payroll to give him blood all the time.
Well, when you're rich enough, you can do some wild shit. And Annie, I'm going to get to the super chats, but thank you for the call. I hope you have a great Friday night and a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Bye-bye. All righty, Hive. First of all, just, epic stream. Great job, everybody. I mean, this was one of the most, I don't know if the word like feel good, confidence as high as it's ever been in this community. It's amazing. And actually, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so awesome. And I know I say that a lot, but I feel like I want to make sure that I'm echoing that to you all. This is really special. I feel like it's extremely special what this chat has become, the people that have called in. And Brian's Rambling said, "You're a bright hoot, Daddy Birdie." Well, thank you so much, Brian Ramblings, for the super chat. Lil Bit coming in with a $50 super chat saying, "Hi, chat and Birdie, have a great weekend. So precious. A little baby girl heartbeat brings back the best memories." Yes, if you have not heard, Mrs. Birdie and I, we are having a baby girl. And today, we've heard the heartbeat before, but today was an appointment where we went in and got to hear the heartbeat over the loudspeakers. It was just, I don't even know how to describe it. It was crazy. It was so cool. And thank you everybody for the wishes and the kind words a little bit. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you guys so much. TamCam 777 said, "Do you think Brian Koberger's papers for his school were coincidence, or is there something more?" Even Steve G said he wrote about the house. Has anyone looked into that? Oh, hell yes, we have looked into that, TamCam. I don't think it's a coincidence that a guy who is writing about the statistics of people that are forced into plea deals because they're overcharged and then forced into the plea deals that leads to wrongful convictions, and 95, 94, whatever the percentages of cases don't even go to trial, that the guy went to the same school, being WSU, that's getting all of this funding for predictive criminal behavior and has a CSI lab that has access to live body cams and all of this surveillance tech that works with everybody that's peripherally investigating it through partnerships like the Quad City Task Force and other task forces. I don't think that it's a coincidence, TamCam. Great question. Brandy Wine OG, thank you so much. Love the profile picture. I see the tinfoil. Said, "To feed the golden chicken." I love it. I love it so much. Thank you. Jodio 918 said, "Congrats to you and Mrs. Birdie. I'm so happy for you." Thank you. Leslie 247 said, "Baby Birdie college fund." Do you think that college will still be a thing by the time, like if you have a child that's not in school yet, do you think that by the time they get to college age, let's say just, 18 years from now, you think college will be a thing? How we view it now? I'd be so curious to look into a crystal ball and see. I don't think it's going to. I really don't. I think there's going to be virtual college. You put on which is crazy, but I just think that I've even heard stuff about the new Grand Theft Auto, that there are people that are hiring, they'll hire you in your full-time job. You can make crazy money from the sounds of it on a GTA 6 server. Anyways, I don't know if it's going to look the same. I don't think it is. Angel Heart, thank you so much for gifting 5 Hive memberships. And I see that we have 1,000 likes. So when I get done with this, don't go anywhere, because when I get done, I'm going to drop some free memberships for tomorrow as well. You guys will be able to join the Hive Plus chat. Bellamicia, been here for a month, said, "I've been here longer for a month, but now I'm official." HR in the house and on the round table tomorrow. Twisted Timo, welcome, or not welcome. Thank you for being a part of Hive Plus for 2 months. Always seeing your username's great. And said, "Birdie, please let UFO Dog out of the basement." Yeah. You don't know what that means. I really don't have UFO Dog in my basement, but she used to start all the chats by saying that, or the air conditioner or something. And then followed up with a super chat saying, "Thank you for all the hard work that you and the amazing mods do every single day. The Hive is amazing, and we will solve this case one day." This case, plus. I am very confident in that. Not a doubt in my mind. Bellamicia pretty much said, "I love this place. I love the freedom that Birdie has gifted each of us. Say what you think, feel, believe without judgment. The head of HR advises vote Birdie for president. Who do you know that's better?" Look at just taking the role and the position in stride, Bellamicia. That's a movement I could get behind. Just kidding. I would not want to be president. I feel like anybody that wants to be president probably shouldn't be president, or any form of leader at that level of power. You almost got to pick somebody that's like, "I don't want to do this damn job. I want to do my 4 to 8 years and I want to get the hell back to wherever I came from. Get me out of this place." Bextat said, "I don't think any of it ever happened." So going full on PSYOP, maybe WITSEC operation. Again, theory that's been out there. Hate it or love it. It is a theory that's had traction at certain points. Misty 2 Drop said, it was Scrappy the River Data Doodle. Pretty much, he told me I had to be his alibi. He was going to chew me and throw me in the river if I ratted. Yeah, well, a lot of sus investigations out there in bodies of water, specifically rivers with people that can swim. Pieces of April, welcome to Hive Plus. Thank you so much for signing up. Tamara Lockhart, 4831, said, hi, Birdie, new member. It's a house of undercover cops. Murders were staged. Brian Koberger's a Fed. Steve G's a Fed. Major busts afterwards. Dylan is a cop. It's all staged. You know, it's interesting timing that you said this, because the last 2 or 3 streams, I've seen a handful of comments saying, look into Kaylee and working as a cop. And I've also seen videos in the past with Dylan and like Dylan's sister or Maddie's sister. I've seen people like piece together things and I'm like, well, that is strange. So I don't know enough about the police angle, the cop angle. I've only ever gone down that route for like Koberger, but it's interesting. Definitely interesting. Liz Gaspari, VP Gaspari Nutrition, said, why wasn't Dylan hanging out with Kaylee at the corner club since she begged her to drive back to be the +1? Sus. Yes, it is. Very sus. I don't even know do you guys remember the stream with Amber Vance? I thought she said it perfectly. It was like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. Amber said, after reading this, either the masked man never happened, or you have a man doing high knees and a girl with a big nose that Dylan didn't know if it was a dream. I mean, seriously, did the masked man, the I'm here to help you, the Kaylee running up and down the stairs, do you know how much that has set us back if that's made up? And that's the part that I'm trying to at least keep my own headspace in, is the PCA, you could wipe your behind with it. Why are we to believe the thud at 417 then? Why are we to believe the white launcher? Why are we to believe, look at the wounds that they say that they have. You know what I'm saying? It's so then you talk about Dylan with the +1, right? Kaylee's selling her car. Then it's a rental car. Xana's listing stuff on Facebook Marketplace at the same time too, getting rid of stuff. Hoffy Master said, I love this woman. I'm pretty sure this would have been when Bellamicia was on. Angel Heart said, I agree, Bella. I think most of us do, but 3 dudes did get out of that pizza car. No clown suits, just a few guys in the car. LOL, sorry. Keeping a sense of humor. Love you, Birdie, and the Mod Squad. Well, we love you, Angel Heart. And I don't know if it was for sure 3 people out of that pizza car, but I do believe 100% it was more than 1. It was more than 1, is my opinion. So I tend to lean more with agreeing with you, Angel Heart, than not. Rita Parrott, welcome to Hive Plus. Griffaholic said the parents' money going towards a worthy major. Yes, I agree. That is, I'm thinking that had to do with Bellamicia saying that none of these kids were probably working a bunch of jobs and struggling through school who did this, if it was on the frat side of stuff. Okie dokie, Lisa, thank you for the super chat. Said, these are the churches Mormon Church, we the people of Utah, testimonies of what they do to these kids. They pay their tuition for their blood. Shit you not. The religious dynamic of influence can be, or the church dynamic of influence, that's up there with any political or corporation, depending on what church and who's connected to it, who's funding the church. The church has a lot of power in a lot of places, and I think that flies under the radar a lot of times. I don't know if there's like a guilty conscience of maybe saying that. It has nothing to do with your beliefs, but it could have absolutely everything to do with who's leading that building that you go to worship in and how much power they may have. Growth Redacted, thank you for gifting a membership. Same to you, UFO Dog. Glad you're out of the basement. Pretty much my tits redacted said, Birdie, love your lives and the other creators out there. You're doing the work for sure. Much love. Well, much love right back to you, tits redacted. It's funny. I don't know why it's juvenile humor to say tits. All right, focus, Birdie. Griffaholic said, what if Kaylee was in the bathroom and JD had said, it's okay, I'm here to help to get her out of the bathroom? I have an interesting clip that I actually sent one of my mods, Luna, this morning from an old TikTok that I had posted back when Officer Morris, or who was it? Somebody was standing security outside of King Road, and you could see all the guys pull up, like Chief Fry pull up in that white truck, and they are talking by the trailer. I enhanced the voice, and it's almost like they're talking about there was two people that were at the house, and then they go, and now moving to the people that lived in the house. So it was like 2 and 2. I'm going to play that this upcoming week, so stay tuned. I'm still trying to like work through this audio because it's quiet. It's not like I'm not putting a bunch of filters on. I'm just trying to get the volume loud enough, and I'm trying to hear the words that are said, but I'm pretty close. Teresa N 1111 said, love your channel. Well, thank you so much. What currency is that? What is NOK? I should know that. What currency is NOK? Oh, Norway. My Norwegian Hive. The Norwegian Hive is in the house. Anybody else from another country? I thought I saw somebody from France tuning in here too. Thank you so much, Teresa N. 111. Grammy Tammy said, I want to have a baby shower for baby Birdie. You do realize that she already has more aunties than 99% of children, and we would love a registry. Oh, that's so cute, actually. That's adorable. Thank you, Grammy Tammy. I have to I know Mrs. Birdie is going to be working on a registry. I don't know what the plans were for that as far as an ETA. We were actually talking about it today. Obviously, we had that appointment, so that was at top of mind. So I will keep you guys updated. Obviously, I already appreciate just the kind words, but I love that part about the more aunties than 99% of children. That's awesome. Rayana 831, welcome to Hive Plus. Renee Mankampf. Hope I said that right. Said, love my Hive family. Prayers for Shannon. Yes, absolutely. Keep Shannon in your prayers. One of our callers this evening. Lacerna said, theory, Ethan OD'd, laced drugstore were being sold. Or I'm sorry. Excuse me. Theory, Ethan OD'd, laced drugstore were being stored at 1122 King Road. Frat boys and gangs found out, came over, and the rest is history. I know that one of the callers said, we don't necessarily agree with like the panicked, like the escalated panic that turned to violence. I just think that there's been too many like hot mic rumors caught on body cams of cocaine or fentanyl or ODing for it to not somehow have been a rumor. And I get the whole thing, same thing with, if somebody died and there was a party, people assume being shot. But I feel like the cocaine and the fentanyl and all that, given the surrounding area and the history, I just feel like there has to be I don't know. I could be way off. Obviously, we theorize in here. That's what we do. But I appreciate you, Lars Cerna, for being a member for a month at Hive Plus. And pretty much my tits redacted again with the super chat. Said, what an amazing night as always. All the calls are special regardless of the topic. We need prayers for our Hive members in need, if they talk or not. Much love. Yes. That just makes, honestly, it just makes my heart happy. It sounds, I don't know why I was about to be like, I feel like I sound soft when I say that, but it's the truth. I care about you guys, and I know many people in here care about each other too. Mike to Spit with a $50 super chat coming in. Oh, not Mike to Spit. Sorry. Oh yeah, that is Mike to Spit. Said, Birdman, I hope you take the time to step back and admire this community you've built beyond fighting for justice. There's been so many people that have found their home Hive here. Keep up the good work, brother. Super excited for the November baby. Man, you guys are so kind, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the big super chat. I remember when the channel did hit 50,000, I was typing out this post, and I think it was like the second sentence I'd said, I'm like, what's crazy and what's so awesome about it isn't even the number. It's the community that came with it. That's what it feels weird to say. Like, I never expected that part of it, but that's what I'm most hyped about. Serious. I mean, that really is. It is the best part of the Hive growing, and it's tribute, and I want to pay homage to you all that have been here with me since TikTok. I was saying this, I think the Dawn or the mods group chat, I was saying the chat and the people that have been in it have done such a good job at just keeping it what it is, no matter how many people are in the chat. It's awesome. And everybody that puts effort into doing that is amazing. Kara, the light after, $50 super chat. Thank you so much. Said, sending much love, light, and gratitude to you all. Each of you are so special. I hope you see how extraordinary and powerful you all are inside. Keep shining your beautiful light. That is well said, Kara or Kara. I hope I'm saying that right. And thank you for the massive super chat. I agree. Everybody is special in their own way. Be yourself. I need to find this TikTok and share it with the Hive. There was this therapist or this counselor that says she works with teens, and she was explaining how that there's no inward reflection because there's no boredom. It was a very interesting, like 4 or 5 minute clip that I saw, and it resonated even with me that, you know, when I was younger, I remember like I'd have to entertain myself and just like go outside. I would play war and I would just go kick up the mulch in my parents' landscaping, or I called it landmines. And I would just kick the mulch. And that's how bored I was. But now it's like, oh, I'm bored. I can just pull out my phone and scroll. Unredacted Alley, welcome to Hive Plus. Grammy Tabby says, my dog deserves a treat for staying off the roof for such a long stream. Maybe you should go check out him. Oh, yeah. I am... that dog is about to piss his pants. Thank you, Grammy Tammy. Tiffany Nicola 1396 said, if Brian Koberger was actually guilty and locked away, why is everyone still silent? One of two reasons. Maybe 3. I don't believe one of them, being that he actually did it. The second one would be they're afraid. Or the third one is that they're not allowed to legally, and they're sticking to it because of fear, legal repercussions. Griffaholic, thank you so much for the super chat. Said the vampire theory, money well spent, mom and dad. Dead Men Awake. Wild call, but I loved it. I look forward to getting calls that I have no idea what to expect. And I know, like Dylan Mort, even with the Psycho Killer game, he's had some calls, but that one too, it's just, you know, even not on stream, like that's the stuff that I geek out about. And I think a lot of us do. And that's why we mesh, you know, so well in here, is because we're like, we'll just go down these like Wikipedia or random Google rabbit holes of like, what if I Googled this? What if I Googled that? Next thing you know, there's self-identifying vampire subcultures in Idaho, where there's a professor at Idaho State University saying and arguing in court that you can't say that there's a motive if a male and a female couple that self-identifies as vampires commits murder because there's not enough like white papers on it. Like, we literally read that on the stream. Do you know how crazy that is? How insane that is? Man. And unredacted Allie said, good night. I have power from Illinois. You've been out since Wednesday afternoon. Yes, the Midwest, you know, Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota got smoked by storms. Hopefully everybody stayed safe and has their power back. And Hive, I said that if we hit 1,000 likes, that's kind of, you know, each stream, every time we hit 1,000 likes live, I will gift 5 memberships. So as a reminder, tomorrow we have Shawley Redacted, D-Dog Wifey, Bellamicia pretty much, and Sleuther Snare. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Central. Okay. Everybody can watch the stream. I'll never put a stream itself behind a paywall, but the chat on Saturdays is reserved for the Hive Plus folks. And there's about to be 5 more of them right now. And I'm going to go ahead and gift those in 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's processing, and there we go. The gift memberships have been announced. Let's see who all gets them. I'm always excited. Amy Bloom, Tifo McKee, Pedro Pony 1995, Oil Can Sally, and Circus Music. Congratulations. Also, as a reminder, guys, on Saturdays, for everybody that is a Hive Plus member, we do a merch giveaway. We use that giveaway tool with a hashtag. And so that's always awesome for people on Saturdays as well. So don't miss the roundtable tomorrow. Like I said, those 4 are going to be absolutely epic. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't, and get some rest. Stay safe. Don't drive if you've been drinking. And I will see you all tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central. Cheers, everybody.